God. All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Hashem, Rakak with us.
double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and the sincere Shalom to the Akim that's out there pushing the sincerity and the truth of this sound doctrine. All right. Once again, we out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon, aka America, man. As you can clearly see, you know, at the rate this place is going, man. It's clearly on the downfall. It's been on the downfall for a very long time, man. But now the Lord is really starting to really make it known. All right. But we here to also wake up the elect of our God. I like emphasizing that, man. The elect of the nation that is the nations of Israel. All right, which are the so-called Negroes, the Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, 12 tribes of Israel. The ones the law, statutes, commandments, as well as the promises given to them. As I always say on my videos, man, the ones the law, statutes, commandments, as well as the promises were given to. Only the Israelites, only the so-called Black, Latino, and Native American people, man, right, was given to them. That's it. All right, and we're here to let you people know again. This is the downfall of the society, man. You know, when we see the headlines, the headline now, this week, on the news is Russia and Ukraine, and like we were saying, people, doing these videos, making jokes about it, as people always do, because nobody takes anything seriously, man. Nobody takes anything seriously. It's always a joke to people. All right.
You think that it can't happen here?
It is going to happen, right? It is going to happen. Look, man. We always had this, the thing, 113, man. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Well, it ain't too far from it. It's not too far from it now, is it? But we could go ahead and start over the scripture, though. Because right now, man, we're in a serious time of prophecy. What is this? Wars and rumors of wars, right? Yep.
Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind.
It's a destroying wind. See, that's read that again. Read that again. Sometimes, man, you gotta read them again, man.
Yep. It says, thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. All right, go ahead.
Behold, I will raise up against Babylon.
He's going to raise up against Babylon, man. He's raising up against this place, man. He always has, but now you really start to see it. Now you start to really show himself now, man, upon you people. Go ahead.
Right? Against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me.
Yeah, man, that's you jakes. You jakes primarily, man, because y'all, the law was given to who? It was given to Israelites. So primarily jakes, but it can also be again, man. These scriptures go 2, 3-fold, even, 4-fold, whatever. That's how powerful these scriptures are. But it's also talking about these guys here, man. Because these and you other heathen nations as well. Everybody that rose up against the Lord. All you gotta, these Christians they say all you gotta do is believe. You don't believe, man. How do you believe? You can't just sit up there and say, I believe on God, and you're all of a sudden being looked over. Y'all don't believe. That means y'all going against the Most High, man. And that pastor sit up there trying to go on the prophecy. You're not a pastor, man. And like you said earlier, you trying to add on to the words of the Lord, man. The Lord will deal with you.
Says a sword is upon the Chaldeans.
Now, a sword could be numerous things. A sword don't only have to be, a dagger. A sword is just an instrument of destruction. The sword could be, a sword is part of that thing they force you to take, man. That jump shot, that's the sword. Pestilences, earthquakes, all that stuff, man. It's all part of the sword. It's just an instrument of destruction. And it said upon the Chaldeans, modern day Edomites, man. And the scriptures say that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump, right? So if you go off on one thing, one small thing, you're going off on everything, man, on everything, Yeah. So you got a lot of people that would say, even when we talk about the Quran, you try to say that that's not the MOTB according to Revelation 13, right? If you're saying that that's not the a problem that we're about to face, right? Then you're pretty much saying that prophecies that are going in the scriptures aren't going to happen. Like this is our rest, pretty much. Because that dollar bill going fade. Right. It's going to go away real soon. And that Quran, but that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate end all be all prophecy, man. Yeah. That's one of the things that got to go on before this place gets shut down or destroyed. Right. Like the Quran. Right. For some reason, y'all don't want it to go there. Well, obviously you don't. Because if you gotta think about it. You get paid to do this, and you constantly get paid, and you're making a lot of money. That's why celebrities, they ain't gonna want this place to go down. Sure, they might come out of nowhere, out of the blue, and sit up there and say, "Yeah, man, Israelite," but that don't mean nothing. That the Lord could be using that to bring somebody closer to the truth and come on in. But for them, that don't mean nothing, because they're not gonna want this place to fall. Because they get paid, they get the benefits. That's why a lot of people don't want the place to fall. All right. We joke about this. Damn, another accident. Another one. We joke about this when we say that Jake is going to start pulling out technology and start shooting at Jerry, but that's not actually going to be a real thing. Why? Because they stuck in that mindset that they got to protect. That they're ignored at the moment. Yeah. All right. It says a sword is upon their mighty men. If anybody else has something. Yup. So I can go back to verse 35. It says a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. That's everybody, man. The sword is upon everybody, right? It says the sword is upon the liars. Like the Chaldees, this society, the world, The sword is upon the liars, and they shall go. A sword is upon their mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. Yeah. A lot of people sit up there, and say, well, it's America the great, man. Ain't nothing happen, to the military. They think that the military is untouchable or whatever. A lot of people think America is just untouchable. Oh man, look, you seen that? You remember that ad that Russia had did? In the America, they compared tough the Russians. Oh yeah. That's yeah. And then the American soldiers was all soft, man. Yeah. I'm saying they were showing the difference between America, between China, and between Russia. It was between Russia, America, and China. And like the brother said, America was the softest one. They had, because in that clip they was showing who represented who. Like the military, like Russia's military, they were showing the guy, general, that was showing how he trained his men. And China was also doing the same thing. But what did America do? In that clip, they had a woman just walking around talking. There was no training. There was nothing shown but a woman talking. And people, man, they need to be more concerned about America instead of Ukraine or Afghanistan. Every time something happened over there in them countries, man, everybody over here in America, prayers for Ukraine, prayers for the Afghanistan. But what about what's happening here, man? What about what's happening here? You need to worry about your military, man. Your military ain't looking so good. You need to worry about what the hell is going on. Where's prayers for the Israelites, man? These young men blowing each other away every goddamn day, man. Where's that? They ain't even doing right in your own country, man. The military ain't even right. The military is weak, man. The brother said the post on YouTube during these last days. It was one of them skits or something like that. It was on the top that showed a Russian tank, fully armored, ready for war. On the bottom it showed a U.S. tank. It was an Abrams. Okay, it was pink. It had no barrel on it, and on the side it said they/them, pretty much to say that there's no male or female.
America ain't looking too good.
This world right now ain't looking too good, man. This world, you know, who runs it? These guys. You know, but, yep. Oh,
It says the sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people.
And this goes for everybody that trusts in this beast system, man. It goes for everybody that trusts in this beast system. What is that? Isaiah chapter, the 31st chapter, it said, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. You rely on police for help, right? You rely on the military for help because everybody think the military is just this mighty superpower. But they don't think about who gave the power to them, right? And I said that specifically when they go by because I'm not going there, but it's mainly our women, that relies on this society. All right, mainly, but it's everybody, really. We got, okay. This is.
I know, right? This is Isaiah 24:7. It says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth. All the merry-hearted all the merry-hearted do sigh. It says, the mirth of the tabrets ceaseth, which is basically a drum and a pipe that comes together, representing the joyful songs that pretty much the women, or I would say, pretty much use as an illusion to keep people at bay. It says, the noise of them that rejoiceth ended. It says, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song.
Another shutdown is coming. Yeah? A major shutdown. Worse than that, what you will call a shutdown from before. And it ain't going to be no stimulus either, man. Unless you're talking about a stimulus that's going to be uploaded to that chip that's going to be inserted in people's hands. There's going to be a major reset. The MOTV. That's going to be on major levels, man.
Well, you see what they doing now. That's why the scripture said we're not ignorant of his devices, man. That's part of his devices. They bring out this big scare, mass mandates and stuff like that. But then they sit up there while this whole thing is still, while they still claiming this thing is killing people. They sit up there, drop all the manuals, drop them all. We need to let people return back to their normal lives. So drop it all. Meanwhile, while that was going on, some article in the back had popped up and said, there's another variant within this variant spreading, and it's fueling words. They rocking you people back to sleep, man. People just dumb. Yeah, man, they rocking you people back to sleep. Bill Gates just said there's going to be another pandemic, though. Hey, man, it's all the Lord Yahweh by Chanel.
It ain't going to stop, man.
Right. Because I'm sure they didn't expect it to go like this, man. I'm sure they wanted it to get rid of a whole lot more people. That's why they up in the numbers like that. Because they wish it was like that, man. Of course, they scare people. But it's all the Lord Yahweh by Chanel. Stop. If the Lord wants you to go ahead and gel up, man, He gonna have you gel up.
Where y'all at? Isaiah 24:9. Anybody have a question? Maybe not a question.
Yeah, place like that. So it's a lot of information out here. It's how you absorb the information. And there's a difference of listening and hearing. Right? Can you tell me the difference?
You said a difference between listening and hearing? I don't care.
There's no difference. There is no difference.
We hear a lot of noise on the
So what are you up here for? So what are you up here for?
I want to know that I see y'all and I see different groups. Right?
Do you know what listening is?
I've heard a lot of information. But I listen to different people.
Do you know what listening and hearing actually means?
Matthew 13:9.
This is Matthew 13:9. It says, "Who have ears to hear, let him hear."
Right. Go ahead.
And the disciples came and said unto him, "Why speakest thou unto them in parables?"
Right.
And he answered and said unto them, "Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven."
Right. So you got some
Say it
people.
again,
Hold on.
come out with it again.
Hold on. You got some people who listen, and you got some people who hear. You listen to everything going on around you. That's called observing. But the ears to let them hear is talking about the ones who's going to understand this doctrine. That's the difference.
And in the Christian man, they say, I don't know if it's scripture or maybe it is, that the first it was the word that you heard and it came to place.
Right. That's hearing. Hearing the word.
So I'm going to say something. Some people have wisdom.
They have what?
Some people personality.
Okay, charisma.
Wisdom.
Right.
Politics.
Right. Right. Right.
So when I see you, Israel, I never see. Now I've seen a large following y'all on YouTube,
Right.
cities.
Right.
I never see a large.
Well, that's why the brother just asked, "What are you up here for?"
That's
Because
the, you know what I'm saying?
you're trying to be,
information.
hold on,
Don't
hold on.
want it.
You're trying to be philosophical. You're trying to be the easiest thing. The thing about the word of the Lord is it's simple to those who will understand it. It's either you're going to get it or you're not going to get it.
And then when you get it, then what you move out on it?
You're exactly. Do you know you're an Israelite? Okay, so do you believe you're an Israelite? You're a nation of Islam.
I'm a member of nation.
Okay. Do you want to go into the history of Islam?
I don't want to go
How
into
it was started by
anything, really.
That's not what a Roman Islam is nothing but a Roman Catholic doctrine, man.
Yes.
Yes. What did the Muslim? First of all, you a Muslim, right? Islam. How come in all the little stores that there's go ahead, brother. No, you got it. All in all the stores.
I'm against a lot of that too.
All those stores. You say Assalamu alaikum, right?
I'm just
and then you as so-called as a black Negro don't own any Muslim related businesses. I can't say you don't own no business.
Some of us.
Right, but not on high levels. You're not in the gas station.
Everything they sell in stores.
Right. But you're not in the gas station. But you're not in the gas. You don't own the gas station. Right? You don't own those pizza places. You know what I'm saying? So why would you take over that don't accept it? Right? We can go to
you got a strong point right there.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Right now we're in war.
Okay. You believe Ishmael? Do you believe
Ukraine and Russia's at war? You know why? Because they want Ukraine to be a part of them again. They want to stay free. Right. Because it's about freedom of the mind.
The USSR means what? That's what it was called before. What was the USSR? USSR means United Soviet Socialist Republic. Right? Hey, can I get something for you out of your Quran? This is a lot of y'all Muslims don't even read y'all own Quran, which is crazy. Right. You ain't, so you're not on your deen. That's what you're telling me. All right. They go with the book of Surah. It says that we did certainly give the children of Israel the scripture, which they didn't. It says the judgment and prophethood, and we provided them with good things and preferred them over the worlds. So even in the Quran, it says that the children of Israel is preferred over the worlds. It says, hold on. It says 45 alone, man. That's not for you, man. That wasn't for our people, man. We read out of the Bible, the Holy Bible.
No, this is polite.
No. Hey, like you said, like you believe in Israel.
It's a tool to keep you a slave.
Who said the white man read the Bible? He said the white. Why y'all?
It's a guy on Facebook, and you know now that dude.
Not brother.
You know he ain't written none of this stuff. He like Kemet.
Nah, well, who wrote Kemet?
Right.
John Fred.
Hold on. Like POL. GHT.
John Francis, we're not going to listen to that crackpot.
Hey, he's debating.
Oh, he said for life.
He's debating them on that.
They can debate Israelites. He would lose when he come to us. John Francis Champollion is the one that broke down the hieroglyphics in Egypt, which was a white man. Yeah, but the Quran is a white man. All the books is written by a white man, so he's off.
Why they always want to make a point and then leave?
Because he came up. That's why the brother asked him, "What you up here for?"
Like, we remember that guy, right? What did Jesus say? And then he just walked off like he
they can't hang. What did he say? You know, damn, man. You know, he came up here like you said, that philosophical type of shit, man. Look, man, we at a time of prophecy, man. We ain't worried about what's the difference between hearing. Hey, listen, man. He found out. Yeah. He can't hear. Yeah. He found out. Sometimes we go into the, because sometimes you're trying to win souls, you don't know who is who, but sometimes it's the spirit. This guy's a complete bug out. After a couple minutes, I just wanted to see where he was going. And once we saw where he was going, you knew that dude was a bug out.
I saw him when I was driving the bus. He's one of those guys that try to sell bean pies on North Avenue. Yeah, they sell the papers, newspapers, and all that stuff. Giving out because they got like the watchtowers for the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Nation of Islam people. They got those newspapers that they be trying to give out.
I mean, we done went into the Islam. Sometimes if you're trying to learn, we'll show you turn back from your ways and your wickedness. Right. Somebody get Ezekiel 3:17.
I got something.
This is all prophecy too.
The definition of perceive. Okay. So that what goes into hearing, which means to be aware, observing, or conscious of something, right. Come to realize or understand. So what Yahweh did, he gave his men the understanding of what he was saying, right? And that's what we do. We put everything in the perspective so that if somebody comes up, we got it's Islam, The scriptures break that. But everybody reads the scriptures, right. But they don't know. They don't know how to hear it or understand it.
That's why we said the mysteries. Right. Yep. Right. It's unknown to them, man. That's why specifically we went to Matthew 13 and 9. I remember I was going to some class like a couple of years ago, and before everybody else got there, the teacher, he believed in like that black culture type things, and I mentioned the scriptures to him, and I was listening to him while we were doing it. He said, well, you talking about some, those are just the stories and fairy tales and stuff. Look, man, if you can't just read the scripture, like these Christians sit up there, read the Bible front to back 4 or 5 times. So you read a book like Revelation 13, a dragon with 7 heads, 10 horns, and stuff like that. You automatically go think, man, it's a fairy tale. What am I reading? Nah, man. You gotta have the proper understanding, man. That guy. First of all, the Bible is not a white man's book because he didn't need a book to put us in slavery, jackass. Right. It was our heritage. Right. What were we singing when we was coming on those slave ships? Kumbaya, my Lord. Means come by Yah, Yahweh, my Lord. So we was already speaking Hebrew. That book was from the Hebrew scrolls. Like, what the hell is he talking about? We can go to several scriptures and prove that the Bible is not a white man's book. A Bible that condemns them. Now there was a white man. It was a white man that took hold of the book and ripped pages out, literally, and gave us mostly the New Testament. That's why a lot of those during the time of the slavery in the 1600s. That's why they gave us the New Slave Bible, and they said they omitted the Old Testament. And this is why when you go to church today, they always stand in the New Prosperity part. That's why they stay there. That's another thing. If you didn't follow Christianity, and let's say it was a slave master came up and they would come up to us, which one of you are saved, right? So whichever one decides to bow down to the image of this fake Jesus, Serapis Christi, Baal, whatever, they would take them and say, do you believe? And they would be scared. Yeah, I believe. And they would take them over and say, okay, he's saved. Being saved had nothing to do with the one you call Jesus spreading his blood on you. Being saved means you were saved from the oppressors. And if you didn't follow what the oppressors said, or if you did follow, you were saved. If the other ones, like us who are stubborn, we didn't want to believe, like when you go in the time of the Maccabees, Antiochus and them. There's ones who died for their belief, so they wasn't so-called saved. The ones that took counsel and sided with Esau, they was considered saved, right? And this is where that being saved come from. I did a video last week, and I read it to, and I found out that's what it was. Are you saved by the blood of Jesus? Them same devils come over here, come up in our communities, and tell us, are we saved? Right? And in order to be saved, you must be dunked in a barrel of water, right? Stagnant water, and be a part of them. Now, these are the same devils that oppress you on many levels, and then come with the order of chaos. Then they come with, as we roll by, they got the what they got, those little communities where, you know, the Catholics, homeless shelters, and they passing out all kind of free shirts, and they'll have a big table with plates of food, and then the people come up there. You know what that represents? That represents being saved. If you follow us, you will eat, you'll be clothed. That's why Yahushua says, don't worry about your raiment or your clothing.
Yeah. So basically, you're being saved away from the truth, away from it.
Right.
You're being saved under Esau to be away from the truth.
Right.
And they say that the Bible is the white man's book, but they follow everything else that the white man has set up. Fucking idiots.
Like the Charagma. The Charagma is going to be the same thing. Everybody that gets planted with that Charagma, you're going to have a group that say, are you saved? You're only going to be saved if you take that Charagma.
Yeah, they were trying to make it seem like the people who took the jab was saved.
That same thing. Right. Saved ain't always a good thing. You know, saved is on the left-hand side too.
Ezekiel 3:17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them.
Satan trying to win souls.
Exactly.
Satan trying to win souls. That's what makes these devils
saved under Satan.
That's what makes them wise. We're just not ignorant of Satan's devices.
Right.
Even though he tried to use, the scriptures say that Satan was transformed into an angel of light.
Right.
You know? So being a watchman means watching over all this stuff. The man of sin has been rebuilt.
That's our job, man. That's what we gotta do. Walk a man. What's that? Luke chapter 21, verse 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
All that stuff is trying to get your soul off that path.
Yep.
You look at how Satan is his craftiness and what he's doing. You like, yo, these devils is really slick, man. They real tricksters, man. They ain't get that power, but they were set up to be that way from the Lord, you know. But they ain't get that power just from being some straight up innocent white people, you know. All the lies and stuff like that, to keep those lies going, you gotta be real crafty, man.
Well, Esau's been crafty since Cain and Abel, when he killed his own brother. So he's been crafty since day one of his, before he got holy curse.
Oh, we got back to the serpent.
Yep.
And the garden.
Yep. The Lord created to be that way. It's like a start of a movie. You gotta have the building. You gotta have the good side and the villain side.
Like a dog has been created to be a pit bull is created to be a pit bull.
Yeah. Like what that? Like he just said about the villain. The Proverbs 16:4. The Lord had made all things for himself, even the wicked for the damn evil. This villain is so crafty to the point where
world don't even know that he's a villain.
Well, they don't even know his face. Get on Psalm 48.
Right. The earth is Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You might have to repeat that. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges. If not, where and who is he?
And what judges did he cover? He covered all the judges. He made himself the judges. He covered the face of the real judges. And Yahushua is going to bring the real justice. That's why these prophecies kicking off like they are. Yeah. Bro, make himself known, man.
Lord, I got some. Okay. If you got what you got, you go ahead.
No, I got something else.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
This is Psalms 49:11. It says, the inward thought is that the houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations, because their lands after their own name.
Now that first half of that scripture is also talking about our people as well, man. Our people think this place is going to go on forever, but obviously, that's going towards Esau, because they the ones that name the lands after themselves. They the ones that name the lands after themselves. So they think this place is going to continue on forever.
Yeah, hey, when you look at our people, right? What if you got children, what are your children inheriting? Debt, corruption, they don't even know who the father is, but you expect your children, and that's why a lot of these people out here, they want to, even if they got money, they only care about their son. They don't care about their future. There ain't no future here. To try to set up your children for anything.
If that's the future,
oh boy, yeah, imagine being her father. To be her father, you have to probably be in your 60s or something like that.
probably be proud of her for doing that shit, man.
How things were back then. Things were a little bit more in order. Then you see your child looking like that.
You know what? A lot of times, we be hearing this. We need to bring fathers back in the household. But what? It's too late. For what? It ain't just as bad, man. You do got fathers in certain households. Oh, look how the children turning up still, man. This whole thing is messed up, man. And that's the Lord once again showing himself, man. That's what the Lord once again showing himself, that this place, there's no healing in this place, man. You got, these people, God, we need to heal relationships. Y'all got it.
Yeah, Jeremiah 51.
Oh, yeah, that's what we was reading earlier. Okay. I think that's why Babylon's got to be destroyed. Right? It's got to be. Babylon to be destroyed. It cannot be healed, man. Was that 51 and 9 or something like that? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I can't remember what it was. Babylon means confusion. Babylon. Yes. All right, go ahead. All right.
Jeremiah 51 and 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
So you want to heal Babylon, but she's not healed, man. You can't heal this place, right?
And let us go everyone into his own country.
Yeah, you got these people that liberated woman, the liberated woman placed on top of everything. Once you liberate women on high levels, what happens is that brings us confusion. You pull off the order. So now you got cats chasing dogs, right? You got dogs chasing tigers. It's all messed up, man. Messed up. Yep. Word of the Lord is sharp, man. Sharper than any two-edged sword, man. Everybody don't want to get it, you just don't get it. It is what it is.
We can't heal this place. We can't buy up the lands, buy up our neighborhoods.
Buy back the block. Oh, you're talking about the Rick Ross. Buy back the block.
You can't do that, man.
Niggas ain't buying nothing back, man.
30 acres in a
mule. What the hell I want to do with 30 acres and a mule, man? I don't know what the hell to do with that shit, man. We've been so conditionalized here, man. We don't know what the hell to do with
Mules probably flames now.
that. They probably are.
By the block, you have a cookout. Niggas is gonna be leaving beer bottles everywhere,
Oh, yeah, man. It's gonna be
trash everywhere.
Yeah. Well, because when we came into this new heritage that was put on us, we came in under corruption.
Right.
So they try to say, well, why is black people all messed up? Because of the seed of how you seed it. A corrupt tree bringing forth corrupt fruit.
Yep.
Right.
And this is why you see so much corruption. You can take every black man, woman, and child and say, there's your land. There's your seeds. There's your plow. And you know what niggas gonna do? They're gonna grow weed. Niggas gonna grow cocoa plants, grow cocaine, poppy seeds, heroin.
Bring the dirt bikes through.
Bring the dirt bike with wheelies to help till the ground and shit. And wheels spinning. You know?
Yeah, but you just kick a ball.
Till the ground, nigga. Till the ground, momo. Four wheelers and shit. Yeah. And while they four wheeling, the niggas behind throwing seeds and rapping with a rap video. Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine a whole field of them doing that.
Niggas laid back smoking weed, the little strippers, the black niggas stripping with the thong up their ass and shit. You know? This place would be all messed up, man.
I can till the ground better than he can.
You know?
Nigga think he doing.
You better not let the black man come in power. That black conscience niggas, man. Negroes.
And blunts would be for free. Guns would be for free. Everything would be for free. So you're going to have guns blazing 24/7.
Nigga, look at my shoes wrong, man.
And you give a nigga $1 billion and another nigga got $1 billion and 100. He mad because he got $100 more than you. Shit,
You know, shoot him and take his shit.
So that's why the Lord's got to set up. He's got to start over from ground up and rebuild the world, man. Through his elect. Look, even in these bodies, we have problems with other Israelites, even in the truth. You know, because the Lord, somebody get that in Hebrews 8. 8 and 8. This is why we're going into prophecy, because the Lord has got to tear this place down, right, and rebuild it back up, right. You know, there's no love here, man. I mean, you can stay in Jeremiah 51, as the brother called that too, but just go to 8 and 8. Real good. Got that. You in Jeremiah 51? I have all right, go ahead. If you got scripture, pull it out, man. Go ahead, read.
This is Hebrews 8 and 8. To find a fault with them, he says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. But this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind.
Keep going.
And will write them in their hearts. And I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
So why did he say, I'll write my laws into their mind, in their minds and in their hearts? Because your mind is your spirit. I mean, your heart is your spirit. But then through your spirit, you will do right. Because that's when the corruption take over corruption. You know, we would have new bodies, so we won't sin no more. We won't go off. And that has to be done. Because even right now, we couldn't set up the kingdom of heaven, man, if we got it. We wouldn't still know what to do. That's why he said flesh and blood shall hardly enter into the kingdom. The Most High destroyed all that shit, man. This place is destroyed before the mission was in. It's already destroyed.
So example. Yeah. 1 Corinthians 15:49. It says, as we have borne the image of the earth, right? that image is important too. You know, you got the image of God. The Lord made man in his image, right? You got the image of the beast, which is not this man, okay? But the way that the Lord wants you to be, you know, how he wants you to act, how he wants you to think, okay? Now, while we're right here in these bodies right now, right, in this society that we currently are in, right, we got to think of an earthly man from for the perspective that we got to walk, you know, we got to pay bills and, you know, do things as far as just the curses that we're under, you know. It says we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. It says now then that goes into that covenant, the image of that we're not going to have to teach each other about the Lord. You know, everybody going to already know the Lord. They already going to fear the Lord. You know, it says, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. So we're not coming into the kingdom. It says, neither does corruption inherit incorruption. You're not going to go into the kingdom with that nigga mentality. Okay? It says, behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. It says, for this corruption or corruptible must put on incorruption. Now, he was talking about it. It says, and this mortal must put on immortality. It says, so when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, which that's the new body that we're going to get.
Yeah, when you go to mortal, you know, you can, you know, die. You know, immortal means everlasting.
It says, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory.
Right, and how that's going to happen eventually? Those missiles. When over in Russia shoot those missiles over here to America, right? Death will be swallowed up in victory. Our people will be put out of their misery, and Esau will be going in his rightful place under the feet of the elect, and let me say under the children of Israel in general, because everybody's, you know, everyone who dies is going to go to the spirit world, right? And they're going to come back and play out their rightful place on heaven or earth.
Yeah, scripture based on that. Yep. This is common with First Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right, so it's saying Jake is going to be put out of their misery. Nobody's going to escape this, whether it's a woman having given birth or something like that. It's just not like the fire is going to stop, right?
Yeah, like a woman with child, meaning that the harvest is ripe. It's time to have that baby. It's time to give that birth. Like the birthing pains, they'll come. How many contractions? This is what you see now with Russia, Ukraine, Russia, United States, Middle East. You know, all these things. These are all called birthing pains. Pestilences. Yep. Until ultimately, the charagma. Let's not forget the charagma that's got to go forth. Before those missiles shoot, there has to be an implementation of the charagma. And that's all going to come with the crash of the economy. When you go back to 1918, after World War I, what happened in 1929? After 1918, you had what you call the Spanish flu, which was not Spanish. I mentioned that in a few of my videos. You know, that certain order. There was an order. You had 1918, you had World War I, and in 1920, a little bit shorter in 1918, 1919, you had the Spanish flu. And then 10 years after that, you had World War I. Right? You see the same thing with World War II. You had a crash of the economy. That's why they sent Hitler, who was a Jew actually, over to Germany. It's the Supergruppe, right? And he said the real Jews are Orients. You know what Orient means? They have Asian people call them Orientals. It just means east. These people were the real Jews were so-called black. He knew that. That's why the ideology came with, which we knew. We're not gonna go into the hollow, whatever we want to call that, because they'll flag it. But the ideology was, you want to be black, I'll burn you, and others black. But we know all that was pretty much set up. So you had that in World War II, right? The second war, and now you got the third war. What's got to happen before World War III? In so much of that order, you're going to have a crash of the economy. Every time you're dealing with a war, you're dealing with a crash of the economy, whether it's the war first in the economy or the crash of the economy first and then the war. It's so much of that order. And then a pestilence comes. That's all set up. Depopulation, which I believe personally, this whole thing that's set up is to get you ready for the Caracas.
Putin, Russia, they know that those people who live in Israel aren't real.
Everybody knows it. The Middle East knows it. Everybody. The Arabs say that.
He's a new Adolf Hitler.
Well, that's what they do. And all those people that said America was doing this wicked thing is not right, they all side with America when it comes to Russia, because Russia is going to be deemed the wicked state. But the wicked country. But guess what? They're against same sex, right? They're more biblical than Babylon, than America. And people ain't gonna like it. Russia is more biblical, follows the Bible more than America follows the Bible. Tell me I'm lying. All you white Christians, you think Russia is the evil one. Was they evil too? But they're more Christian. Russia is more Christian than America. Talking about they going into Ukraine. That was their country anyway. But what does America do? Why they got all these embassies, 800 embassies set up? All in everybody else's business. What's the scripture says? He will get Numbers 35 and 31. And you can get Exodus, when he will steal, was it Exodus 20? Steal up a man, and set up man's blood is an abomination. He steal up a man and sell him. Yeah. Number 35 and 31. Okay, yeah, I got it right.
This is Numbers 35 and 31. Moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction with the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, and he shall be surely put to death.
Yeah, that precept Revelation with 13, 9, and 10. He who kills with the sword shall be killed with the sword.
Yeah. The so-called white man has always proven that he's our enemy. Esau, he's always proven that he was our enemy. So a lot of the stuff that he has done, like with the wickedness of the white man, that's what an enemy would do.
Right.
You know, we don't look past, we expect that out of him. You know? In fact, he was right for what he did. Let's say that. You know? From off of what an enemy does.
Right.
You know?
All right, go ahead, keep reading. You got it. 35, 31. I got it.
It says,
gotta read the 33.
Okay. It says, and ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he shall come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priests. So ye shall not pollute the land where ye are, for blood is defiled the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein. But by the blood of him that shed it.
Right. So the Israelites that you brought over here and put into slavery, right? And you hung and you list, and then all you simple Edomites, white people, say, well, it was white slaves too. No, those white indigenous servants, man. Just like you had taskmaster Israelites who owned slaves, man. You know what I'm saying? It was all business. But they all fell under this man right here. And what about that? Where's the pictures? You know, they might try it now. Here's some hidden photos of white men hanging up. Photoshop, you know, Photoshop white men with yokes of iron around their neck. You know, that's our people. The main ones bring that up. Well, remember, there was white slaves too. Our people were sellouts, man. Like Jesus can't be black. He's got to be olive complexion or Middle Eastern. Well, where the fuck you think we from?
Right. Middle Eastern wasn't even a word.
It's not even
that's just something that they made up, man.
It's the East. It's not the Middle East, it's just the East. And where we from? They brought us over here from slavery. Wait a minute, if Jesus is Middle Eastern, where the hell are we from? Right. Sick bastards,
don't look like those Hamites. They trying to put that on us that we Hamites.
Well, like it was never about color anyway. Right. It was all about nationality.
Some of them, some of the Northern Kingdom. Right. If you were in the Middle East, the so-called Middle East, you mistake them for a freaking Arab. Yeah.
And that goes back to Ptolemy, man. You had the Egyptians, the Greeks that was in Egypt many years ago. What do you think gonna happen?
Mm-hmm. And everybody, all these nations come from us any goddamn. You know? That's why you see a so-called black man with cheeky eyes. Where do you think this the Moab? Where they got it from? You know? Yeah. That was a lineage of incest. You know? All
right, go ahead, brother.
I got Exodus 21 and 16. It says, and he that steals a man and sells him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Right. So that's what happened. So-called white man that stole us, and they sold us into captivity. Okay, and we still found in his hand.
We still look at us.
Man, all those other captivities, we were able to have our own area, our own land, and follow our own customs. We can't do that now.
We don't even have a custom.
We don't have a king. We don't have none of that stuff, man. We just been overtaking this. What's that? Hosea? Was that first chapter? No, it's not Hosea. Is it? That they shall dwell without an ephod.
I got this is from Virgin Island Straight Gate. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19. It says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, for it is written.
And that's true, man. Mm-hmm. This is the wisdom. The feminist, the Jake with his head down with the bags in his hand, the Jake with the little strap, with the little baby legs dangling as he walking down the street. You know, it's foolishness. That's foolishness. It's foolishness. Keep going, brother.
Yeah. It says, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
Yep. So all them missiles that they built, guess what? They're going to shoot their own missiles over here in Babylon and destroy it.
Why else would they build them, man? You know, they just sit there. You know, you got groups out there saying that, you know, the missiles aren't in the, aren't in the Bible. What the hell are they sitting there for, man? You know, they just sit, you know, and they weren't, you know, if y'all had any common sense, obviously it wasn't called a missile. You know, it wasn't, I'm going back like 400 years, man, and you see something shoot up in the sky, like, what the hell is that? You ain't gonna say it's a missile because you don't know.
Right. It's what the prophets saw.
It's what the prophets saw.
They took it as, you know, glittering sport.
When they talk about just like that, what they say, a roll, a flying roll or something like that, you know?
Chariot.
Yeah, it's a chariot, you know? And we, you know, they go and sit up there and say, yeah, man, you know, I saw a UFO. It's prophecy, man.
I got that scripture I was talking about. Hosea 3 and 4. It says, it says, for the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim.
You literally have nothing, man. You we don't have nothing. You know, that's why when you come into this thing, you know, that's why this thing is serious when you come into this thing. You know, you finally have something. You finally have something. You know, you finally have something. You have the greatest thing, really. It's not just something. You have the greatest thing. You know, you have the first off the name, but then you gotta believe. You know, what happened?
Yeah, I said that's the little Christian.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to.
You don't want to hear about
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good, ain't it? You know what, man? That's how much. That's how
walking around just to come out down the street.
That's how much spirit we have, man. You know, you telling me a double like that is over us, man?
You know? Look at the cat walking by. We weren't gonna say nothing to him,
man. You know,
we had a dialogue.
it looks stupid.
These little pig legs.
And he walk right there on his.
Yeah, he walks around there and come back. But anyway, let's go back.
No, you got it.
Go back to Jeremiah 51. I mean, we're in the spirit of prophecy now. You know?
While you're getting that, what was that? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 8, verse 13. It says, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound. And we go on down, it mentions the first, second, and third, you know, far throughout the chapters, you know. The next couple of chapters, you know.
Yeah, you're going to I believe it's Revelation 6. That speaks, I believe that's speaking of the first woe.
Yeah. 9
World War I,
yeah. You said Revelation 6?
Revelation 6. Yeah, breakdown of that. And some of 2. Yeah. World War II.
Yeah, down here in 9th chapter, it talks about how the first war passed, and then there's two more to be come through. All right, that's prophecy, man. You can't deny these scriptures. You know, you can't deny prophecy. You got it.
Somebody can hold Matthew 24 as well. But the church don't read this, man.
Yeah,
and there's a Bible that the churches don't read.
Yeah, they say that it's so hard to freaking understand it.
That's the hearing. So that guy came up with some understanding to edify the body.
Yeah,
that's the hearing. It's a difference between just like we listen to car accidents, and that don't mean you can listen to the word. That don't mean you're gonna understand it.
Right. You gotta be precept upon precept. And even still, you gotta
be given the wisdom, the knowledge, the wisdom.
I was just going to say that you gotta. The spirit has to be with you in order for you to get this. Other than that, so be it.
This is Jeremiah 51 and 10. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God.
So that's what we're doing now. You know,
what is Zion? Monument. Okay. Let me get that word monument. What is it? Zion in the Hebrew, which our people are monumental people. You know,
monument, also remembrance.
You can repeat that. It says the Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God.
So he just said remembrance, right? The word monument says a statue, building, or other structure erected to commemorate a famous or notable person or event.
Yeah, that's just, you know, they got many definitions with that.
That was just the regular one. Right. I know you like to get that Merriam-Webster.
Yeah. Because you'll have a definition that says one thing and it'll have 5 other things with it.
Was the remembrance?
That's why they built the statues.
Remember how we was those people in the book. For the longest, we have been lied to and said that we're not the sons of God. Remember, like, yo, once you realize, oh, that does something to you. You know, I'm an Israelite. It's not, well, we just telling you an Israelite just because you special. It's the Lord. The Lord is the one who made you special. You know, He did all this stuff as a way of punishment for our people because you ain't listen. He tried to make you way different than these other nations. But you want to be like these other nations. You know?
Equality. You know? So next time you idiots come up to us and tell us, y'all need to forget and forgive. Tell them take down all them statues then, man. You know?
Tell them forget 4th of July. Tell them forget that 9/11. Yeah. Give Deuteronomy 32 and 7 real quick. Since you're there. But we want to get back to Jeremiah.
Take down this memorial, you know, the small hat memorial off the street, man. Take that down, man. Small hat, little rat.
32 and 7.
This is Deuteronomy 32 and 7.
Hear what the Bible says.
Remember the days of old.
Right.
Consider the years of many generations.
Memorialize the days of old, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
Ask thy father, and he will shew you.
You cannot ask your own biological father to shit right now. Right. Well, you can ask him about the days in the good old days in the 60s or 70s. But he ain't gonna be able to give you unless he's in the truth. Right. He ain't go, and then he could be in the truth and be going off. Like those guys over in Israel. In Des Moines. They going off.
We coming upon a time where of a great memorial, the Passover. You know, where we to find out that those were our ancestors that was delivered from out of Egypt. You know.
You got Chinese written on this thing. You probably don't even know what the fuck it means.
That goes into what you were saying too, because these people don't have nothing to remember. You know, we're in the 60s or 70s, the feminist movement, civil rights movement,
The German shepherds.
those was all ploys from these people. You know, the riots of all the. That's what a lot of people they talk about, the riots of Baltimore, riots of California. That's what y'all remember. But we talking about a whole nother Jeremiah 51. Talking about a whole nother memorial that's about to come. Because once America is destroyed, we're gonna remember that, man. Forever.
Another deliverance out of Egypt. That's what the Passover is about. Go back to Jeremiah 51.
Verse 11. This is Jeremiah 51 and 11.
Brothers can get precepts off.
Make bright the arrows, gather the shields.
Right?
The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes.
Right. Nobody will go into this in a Christian church. They can't break it down, man. Nope. And those Medes right now represents the Russians, man. Right. You know?
But his device is against Babylon.
Right.
To destroy.
Right. So that's why you're gonna have what you call Russia, which Vladimir, I think Pastor Bard did a breakdown on Vladimir, but I used to work for Russians, so they already told me it means power. But really, when you look at the word Vladimir, it means power, but it means rulers of the world. That's their goal. So they want to take down Ukraine, and they want to form that superpower again, man.
I just see something that said that they just took over a nuclear plant.
Yeah. So Vladimir, ruler of the world, the known world. And that the mindset of Esau, man, when he came over here to the new world, he had that spirit of Vladimir, the spirit of power.
Where they taking over. And like we was mentioning before, Kent, man. Everybody joking around about it, man. Everybody, and that's all this place is, man. It's a big joke.
It's a simulation.
It's a simulation.
Look up simulation, brother. Hey, you don't believe that, sir?
They gonna pop that because everybody, nobody takes anything seriously, man. You know, when something happens like these UFOs, the so-called UFOs, they made memes about it and shit, man. Everybody laughing, giggling around about it, man. I don't know, man. Those are omens. You talk about.
Meanwhile, your box of Fruit Loops like $7 now.
But the funny part is, every time you don't watch someone record that sightings of the so-called UFOs, they're freaking out.
What the hell? Yeah, somebody, brother had posted a video on that. And all this guy kept saying, man, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? He said it like fucking 50 times in like in a matter of 20 seconds, man.
Well, see, the Most High do that on purpose. Yeah. He'll keep revolving it around you until it becomes numb.
Yep.
And it becomes no big deal.
Yeah.
The threat of nuclear war been going on all the way, what? 50s even. Yeah. In 40s.
Right.
When they dropped the atom bomb, which they were splitting the atoms back in Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the other cities, right? That was nuclear. They just didn't call it nuclear because nuclear comes from the word nucleus, which is the center of the atom. They were just splitting the atoms. Now they're fusing them. So and years ago they had the bunkers. You go to they would have the sirens go off and all the little children are running like in your old schools. They had fallout shelters, right? Why did they stop using them? Because they realized if there's a nuclear war, a fallout shelter ain't gonna help your ass. It ain't nothing you can do. So what they did is got people used to the idea of nuclear war. Then after so many generations, they just talking trash. But the Most High spices it up, man. Like he's sprinkling the season on it.
I know. I'm saying, while like you said, while all this is going on, you see the prices up and up. They said, the gas prices. This war is going to affect gas prices over here, man. You know that shit that's happening over there is going to affect gas prices, man. It's already happening.
And they're trying. This is why they're trying to do electric cars,
right?
Now, when you do electric cars, that's going to make the Middle East mad because you're going to break another treaty that you've always broke, all the way going to the Native Americans. This devil always broke treaties, man. So they got a treaty for the oil pipelines. They got a treaty for the monetary. That's why they killed that Gaddafi guy, man. Because Gaddafi wanted to get out of the U.S. bank currency. So what America's now doing is they're trying to pull out. And that's going to make everybody pissed off. All right, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 9. It says, for lo, I will rise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
This place was built under the glory of Esau, right? He knows now that his resources is running out. So he's trying to transfer to China or whatever. And in his mind, he kind of know the prophecies to a degree. So he's saying that's why we're going to build underground bunkers. We're going to try to do away with America or whatever. But he already has the idea that, Babylon's going to be destroyed, right? He has the top elites. They have the fear of, the Most High is going to come back and destroy because their time is up.
And that's why they're not even here.
No, the elite's not here. They know better.
China makes most of the products here.
What did the Bank of England do during the 13 colonies and stuff, man? What did they do? They set up the religious Church of England was set up down south, man. This is like all those empires. This is Rome, this is Greece, this is Egypt, this is Babylon. So you got a little taste of it. That's why the Most High said spice it well and fanners. Them nuclear missiles and that wind going to blow that destruction. This place got to be totally destroyed, man. Like two big ass women
like two big ass, two women usually do that. They be gossiping, talking shit, they be pushing the stroller. And man, this place,
that's the example. That's the example.
It's got to go. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, that was what you was just talking about, right?
But that has to happen, man.
Well,
That has
that's
to
why I'm
happen.
laughing about it, because it's got to happen. It's funny as
The
hell,
Most
man.
High is turning everything upside down, man. He's changing everything.
Yeah, man.
You know, now you ask them same men that 30 years ago, are you going to be feminine and pushing strollers and with the baby with the legs dangling out of the little holster?
Wow. Yeah, you just think it's so funny every time.
Yeah, but they'll be like, hell no. Like when I had my sons, you know, mother, and they knew I'm gonna push the stroller. I ain't never pushed no stroller. That was just me. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that. Like if they gotta go in the store, they hurt, and you gotta do that.
Hey, man,
you know
don't be
what I'm saying?
effeminate about it, man. Like, damn.
You know, Jake gotta be cool with it one hand and bopping while he's pushing the
I do
stroller.
that. You know,
That's how you gotta do it.
You know, I do that with a cart. I do that with a cart in the grocery store.
Yeah.
I just had it with one hand. Man.
You gotta be manly about what you do. This society is the queen of heaven. So when you see the men carrying on the roles as women, right? But then when the sons get old enough, say they got little boys, when the sons get old enough, they up under the mothers now.
Yeah.
You was the man pushing the stroller, but now when the sons get 5 years old, now they only huddled up under the mother. When you supposed to take them as the man.
Right.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that's a book of Revelation.
It's all backwards, man.
Book of Revelation. So that's probably one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. Book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. It says, therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, right? And ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. That's what you was going into, man. That's why they enforcing these agendas like crazy now, man. Because they know they only got a short time. You know, you go to the grocery store, shit is that you know, I went to the store the other day and that pack of meat up, well, it was $21 goddamn, man. You know?
Now, when you go back 6 years ago, even not even that long, people look, damn, that's expensive. Everybody was crying, but remember the programming, suggestive program. I did a video on that. TV programming. Once you continue programming, you wind up accepting. That's why you got what you call a YouTube channel. Channel goes back to channeling energy, sorcery, TV source. That's why even on YouTube channel, the reason why they call it a channel, because you can go to many different channels. You got to have different outlets of channels to get that energy. So now we channel it on the right hand side. This go back with the Urim and the Thummim, when going back into our heritage. But then you had on the left hand side warlocks and witches who was using a form of sorcery to see things in the spiritual realm. You know, so it's always a right hand side and it's a left hand side.
Right.
So YouTube, through channeling and sorcery, if you want to call it that, through channeling, we was able to wake up. YouTube was designed and created to dumb the people down and make them simple. And it's worked. But it's also, the problem is, it woke people up and made them smart. Switch it up on the edge. That's why the brother quoted the scripture, the wisdom of this world, the foolishness with Yahweh.
This is Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down.
Go ahead.
It says, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against them, against whom the Lord have indignation forever.
Yeah, because even though Esau, Russian Edomites, American Edomites, you know, they all Edomites. They all wicked, you know. And I got this scripture to back up what you said, right? With that scripture, this is Mark 3:23, and he called unto them, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? It says,
Right, because they was coming at him about casting out, because he was doing casting out those spirits. They was calling him, You
said,
know,
a house above.
a house above. And that's what he said. Well, damn, if you calling me Satan, how can Satan cast out Satan? Meaning, Satan, if Satan put a spirit on somebody, why would he want to cast the spirit back off of him?
Right.
You know, it don't make sense.
And then it went on to say parables, right? When we put it in today's perspective, how is Russia? Y'all both, Russia and America, y'all both got this. Y'all got the kingdom. This is the Edomite kingdom right now. Y'all got the world. How is Satan casting out Satan? It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand.
Right. So that's what he was going into. So if America and Russia is Satan, how can they cast each other out? And if they try to do that, that's going to bring nothing but confusion. And that's why they're not going to be able to stand.
It says
the Satan can't cast out Satan. Right. You know?
America used to have those values that Russia used to have back then, but they didn't, on certain levels. Because you still, if we was to go there, they still racist and stuff like that. It says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
And that's what he meant by that. They're both of Satan, but they're divided against themselves, so they can't stand. Like if I'm allies with somebody and we on one accord, and then we start saying, "No, man, I don't agree with that," and you say, "No, man, I agree with it." Now we got a big argument, and then you know what's going to happen? It's all going to break the hell up. Like if we in the camp, that's why Paul said, "Let there be no divisions amongst you." So if we in the camp together, and these brothers believe in the missiles, and we don't, but yet we pushing. This is why we don't do that unity camp, man.
Exactly right. It don't work, man.
That's like Satan casting out Satan.
Yeah.
You're gonna have it in.
Yeah. Right. If there's somebody come up and ask a question, which I don't know if they did what you many people asking questions, but
Well, you know what they say? Well, we don't agree on that. It's yet to be seen. That's the madness that they do, man. All right, go ahead, brother.
It says, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but it has an end.
Right, that's them coming against each other. Because they even though they're supposed to be one, they coming against each other. That's really like your body coming and turning on itself. A cancer cells start attacking your own body. Right? That's like lupus,
Crazy, because you said
actually cancer is like an autoimmune disease, man.
You said Russia is more biblical than freaking East than America.
It is.
But that shows you they still devils. They're not with that Baltimore stuff. But America used to not be with that Baltimore stuff. But now here it is, Baltimore land. Anybody can be a Baltimore.
And you know what? I did research on that over there in that country, the Holy Land, so to speak. Man, they got it just as man. They ain't righteous, man. They just on a higher tier to oppress the rest of the world. But guess what? They slaves too. They had to take that jump shot. Yep. They need Social Security cards. Yep. You gotta have citizenship.
They pretty much like over here.
They just like over here. And they had those parades. But those elites, what they call the Zionists, they run all that, man. It's whoever owned the money. They're thinking of them rabbis with them cheap suits on over there. You think that these devils really when it all comes down to it, gonna really support them? They only support them because it's a tier level of order of controlling the society. Right. Just like the white man, he don't give a damn about the white man over here. They would just use as a tool to enslave us.
I got another one. Next verse, Mark 3:27. It says, "No man can enter." We talking about war, right? The word whoa, right? It says, "No man can enter into a strong man's house, right, and spoil his goods, except he first buy the strong man, and then he will spoil his house." So America is trying to Well, that war, you got the all wars are bankers wars. You know, Russia is trying to get away from that USD. You know, they trying to cripple the economy here. You know, just like America putting all those sanctions and stuff like that, they trying to cripple the economy over there. You know, so that's what's going to happen, man. More crippling of the economy is coming. They talk about Russia had messed with the elections here. I said what to attempt to cripple the economy. Well, Ukraine they was mad because the leaders was more pro-Russian, you know, more pro-America. All these nations want puppet leaders, man.
And they seize the opportunity. That's why they see the Russia-Ukraine thing. They're seizing the opportunity to crash the economy. Right as all this stuff happened, you notice the prices are really shooting up higher.
Yeah, they really are. They really
They
are.
need a reason. They don't want people buying, protesting on the food. They want to focus on something greater, and that's their lives. Either way, you can't stop what the Lord bringing you. So
These people as more and more of this war goes on, the people here they're going to be siding on America because they're here on American soil.
and they don't even believe in America.
Right. They just want America to win the war.
Yeah, good luck. All right, go ahead. Whoever got you. This is Matthew 24:6. It says, "And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places," which even the brother here read to. The earthquakes mean commotion, and that's all you see in all over the world is commotion. People rioting, the start of World War III. So you got all sorts of things happening, and actually, you got also a lot of pestilence as well. Not just this virus, but the pestilence of the disease of the people. Because people who's not happy, you can see all over the country. You got kingdom versus kingdom. You got Russia, Ukraine, China, in this place. It's gonna be a free fall. That's all it's gonna be. It's a free fall. I think kingdom is actually probably gonna team up against this place, which would be a good thing. It's good for that. Right.
This is Isaiah 13, and let's start at 14. No, I started 13. It says, "Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place."
Yeah, that's a missile.
And the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his spirit's anger. Right? I mentioned in the video, especially you, Jace, you do not want the Lord's anger to be poured out upon you. And it's the worst kind of consequences and punishment that you can receive. Right? It says, "And it shall be as the chased roe," which is the main point. You know, a chased roe is what? Confusion and noise. Right? That's the name of this place, Babylon. Confusion and noise. Right? It says, "And as a sheep that no man taketh up."
Yeah, because when all this chaos is going, you have people running, man, trampling over people, man. Yep. You know, ain't nobody gonna be trying to little children pick up their little children and try to run. They're gonna leave the child behind. Come on. It's gonna be all type of chaos out here, man.
Yeah, man, when he showed me those arming videos, you know, you say it's a whole different thing, but once you experience it, I was just thinking, watching the video that he was showing, hearing bombs and explosions going off, you know, I had to take a moment and imagine that being here. That's a whole different, you know, mindset. You know, so that says that they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. Everyone that is bound shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Yeah, that's kind of twofold, but that's also going to be missing. Go ahead.
verse 16. It says that children shall also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
Yeah, that's the missiles when they destroy this place, man. But also in the upcoming insurrection. Go ahead.
All right, it says their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished.
Wait a minute. But we teach hate. But the Bible speaks of these things happening. But the Christian church never really goes into the Bible. That's why they stay out of the Old Testament. But there's prophecies in the Old Testament. Right? I heard a Christian tell me that was the God of the Old Testament. Like, wait a minute, he's a different God now or something?
He can change, so God can change who he is, God can change what it is, like he's a leopard.
Yeah, he could.
Could be one,
But why?
But the
That
Lord's
was
not
no
alive.
reason for it. Malachi 3:6 says what?
I thought I changed God.
Right. With that one, my words will not go out or return unto me void.
Isaiah 55.
And he's not a liar, man. Do what I wanted to do, you know. I'm not a God that's a lie, man.
That was the God of the Old Testament. So the God of the New Testament, first of all, the Bible's one testament because you had a bunch of scrolls that was put together. That's why Bible means biblios, which means books of records. That's all it was, man. It's just a bunch of books, a bunch of records.
That's why I like calling the Christians Marcionites, man.
Yep,
You know,
Marcionites.
yeah, that's why I like calling them. I'm not, going to it, but that's pretty much, this guy Marcion. I guess that's what how they say his name.
Yeah, Eusebius and
Yeah,
Marcion.
yeah. I know it's Marcion before Eusebius.
Yep.
I think you know more about Eusebius. You know more about both of them. It pretty much, it came from an argument they didn't really like, what was said in the Old Testament or whatever. They didn't like, what was said. So, about the men having multiple wives and stuff like that.
What's that, Marcion?
Yeah.
They actually did away with the Old Testament.
Right.
Well, now, Marcinius Canon, that was his name, Canon.
Yeah.
That's where you get your Canon printers.
Right.
Because it just means light.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like Lucifer.
Right.
And this is why they would say that the Apocrypha wasn't canonized. That came from Marcinius.
That's right, because he got mad. He got mad because they did away with him. Because it was like, he said, you coming in here with some more bullshit, man. What are you talking about? So they got, did away with him, and he had a bunch of followers,
Martin Luther and all that.
Yeah, he had a bunch of followers, and then they did what they did. So that's why you Christians are Marcionites, man. They will be your Christians. His followers will be your Christians.
Yeah, because that's why you'll see a Bible with just the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And then you'll see a Bible with just the New Testament.
Like what?
I was this guy Jerome, remember at the living in other places, Lord, man. He had he tried to debate me with a Bible with just the New Testament. And I was new in the faith, and I still chopped him up.
Right.
Like, what's wrong with the Old Testament? Because God don't act that way no more.
I got something.
Well, how about Jeremiah 51 when it talks about the daughter of Babylon? All right, go ahead, brother.
Isaiah 55:8. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways," saith the Lord. It says, "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." We jump to the 11th verse. It says, "So shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth."
Right.
It says, "It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." So from the very beginning, the Lord declared the end from before this place was even, before the world was even made. He already declared what he wanted to happen. Things that he wanted to go down, he declared that. Okay? Who he wanted to save, the election was already predetermined. We just hope to be a part of that number.
Yeah, so for years, even to this day, they're coming up with new translations, new Bibles. So there's nothing new. They've been doing that, and guess what? At that time, guess who they were? They were Jakes. They were Jakes sitting up there, Eusebius and all them. They had to be Jakes. Going back in that time, they were the ones. Actually, it was Jake's the one that pushed that Christian idolatry. You know, screwing with the Bible, and because they tried to make it all peaceable, but you know that was the only way to get people to believe the Bible. You know, by what's that in Isaiah 30 or 29? It says prophecy, the screw thing. Oh yeah, 31, something like that. That goes back to that time. You can get that real quick.
Isaiah 30 and 9. It says that this is the rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit.
That's why they wanted to take the Old Testament out. That's why the Old Testament was actually taken out of the Bible.
A lot of those, a lot of the wickedness that goes on, yeah, you can equate that to being Esau, right? But during a lot of those times when Esau was in captivity, that was our people that was teaching them those things, man. Teaching them the wickedness, man.
Since this Bible, these scriptures were given to Israelites, so it's primarily a lot of times talking about Israelites. You know, Obadiah is an exemption. You know, but a lot of times when they talk about wickedness, you know, because again, who was given to, you know, who was the law? Salak, you can't speak to that. Who was the law given to? It was given to the Israelites, you know, and this is a Israelites book, man.
I got this to back that up. That point.
Even there, Obadiah, they were starting on Jacob, you know, the house of Jacob, a fire in the house of Joseph.
Even in there,
the fire in Esau, they shall be in stubble.
even in there, we're talking about Israelites.
Yep. This is Jeremiah 2 and 33. It says, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? It says, therefore hast thou also taught the wicked one thy ways.
Yeah, so when they came into power during the 1400s and the 1500s, and they had the Reformationists with the Calvinites and so forth, they revised the Bible and gave it to the Israelites. They went into Spain. They went into Portugal, right, and gave the Israelites a new type of Bible. See, it wasn't the fact that when they brought us over here, we couldn't talk. We didn't know the language. We were speaking Yoruba, Swahili, Igbo, which is all a dialect off of Hebrew. So when we got here, we learned the language of our oppressors. So when they made fun of us, yes, the ball said, that was how they talk. White man couldn't fucking talk. The Southern white men. That's why that you had that shit with Harriet Tubman, that wicked witch. She was nothing but a taskmaster witch for the Quakers. Right? They even gave her a gun. Right? The Underground Railroad, this is that Queen of Heaven, man. The Underground Railroad was already existing with the Quakers, the white man, who sent other men in to get it. And then Harriet Tubman's husband was supposed to go. And he said, fuck no, I ain't doing that shit. They're going to help me take some slaves and make more slaves. And then Harriet said, I'll do it. You know? Witch. She's a witch.
It was always from the south to the north, to the north to the south.
Yeah, it was just taking the slaves. And you had slaves, what they did is promise them. They wanted the healthy, the best of the best slaves to come up north and work. That's why when you look at the Cosby Show, those would have been like the northern slaves, the well-to-do, drinking like the black, and a lot of them was boule anyway, or tears. A lot of them was tears any game way. And what they did, so when they say black slaves had slaves, some of those black slaves were tears because the white man was raping the black woman, and when they had babies, right? That's still them. So they said they're gonna look, we're gonna make sure you still have some power over the other blacks. So then the Negro down south said, I want to go up north too. And Harriet Tubman, she probably slept with some of them.
Yeah.
I give you some. You come on up, eat. 12 Years of Slavery is a great example. You ever see that movie? 12 Years of Slavery?
Not the whole thing in totality.
Yeah. That was the greatest example when they, some of you had slave traders, they would go up north and kidnap slaves that made it up and bring them back because they wanted their slaves back.
Damn.
You look at 12 Years of Slavery.
Prophet, I didn't even know that about Harriet Tubman because in school they teach you to hear that.
He wasn't no goddamn hero. Harriet Tubman was no hero.
When I do that, it's like it's enlightening, like, oh, because they made it like something.
It was about hyping the black woman up, man. That's all. Queen of Heaven.
Black people, black people are the biggest sellouts on the planet. They always have, man. You know? Black people, all our people, man. Negro, Latino, all of them, man.
Martin Luther King.
Hey,
They all sellouts.
Let's show that in the scripture. What's that in First Maccabees? That one, the first was that First Maccabees 1.
We can get that. Maccabees 1 and 1. Started 1 and 1.
Jeremiah 5 and 28.
You can get Jeremiah 44. In fact, get Jeremiah 44 and 17.
All right, keep that.
44 and 17. You got it right here. Go to 15 real quick. Jeremiah 44 and 15. Our people always sold out to the Queen of Heaven, man.
Yep.
That's what these men are doing now.
Yep.
Selling out to the woman. This my baby.
Yeah.
You know, I'll pay your rent. I'll buy your clothes. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 44:15. That all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods.
Somebody you can start right there. Break it down, brother.
All the women, you know, for example, again, Harriet Tubman, you know, burning incense to other gods, you know. The Lord Yahweh outside is a jealous God. This is the main reason why we're in this you know, this state.
And she had to be a Christian. She had to be a converted Christian, probably. Yep. She would have been the ones that would have been considered saved. Yep. Because when you hear Christians say, "Are you saved?" that goes back to slavery. Anybody who adopted Christianity was considered saved, not by the Lord, but by their owners. So Harriet Tubman would have been a saved Christian, man.
And she probably got converted the other way too.
She got converted all kinds of ways. They were all Christians, man. Go ahead.
And all the women that stood by a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt, faithful, answered Jeremiah, saying, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven.
Stop bringing down.
They will do anything they can, you know, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven. You know, for example, you know, you got the birthdays, you know, where you blow out the candles. That's burning. It's burning candles, you know, unto the Queen of Heaven.
Right, because who sets up birthday parties? Who knows?
The woman.
The mother.
Hey man, that's crazy, man. I was throwing out candles today.
Yep. Yeah. The mother. You better not have that virus. You know, everybody's sick now.
Yo, that's wrong, man.
But then who follows it?
The
The husband, the men. That's what you read right there.
Goddamn sense.
You know, even when you invite your friends to the birthday party, you sit there blowing over the cake and you're giving them
Probably be.
you're giving it to
But it's a tradition of Esau, man. I mean, it actually goes back to Babylon. So when it says we'll do nothing but burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, that's men that follow women doing that. So when you light those candles, according to the birthday, now there's nothing really wrong with, because the Lord does everything with time sequence. So there's nothing really wrong with a birthday, because the Lord set you up for a specific time in the season to be here. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just not supposed to burn incense and worship. Right. So, like I could tell you, if your birthday came today, I could say, hey man, glad the Most High spared you another year.
Right.
You know? Now, go ahead.
The start of that Queen of Heaven stuff was the serpent going to Eve, man. You know, and one of the curses of that was the woman being multiplied greatly in their sorrow. You know, being super emotional. You know, so this is one of the reasons why if you have a woman, right, she always will complain no matter how good you do. You know, and when you start giving into those desires of what she wants, you know, that's where to try to get some vagina and stuff like that. That's what these men are doing. You know,
Mothers teach them that.
yeah, they teach them that. This is an example. Have that emotional connection to your woman because, you know, the happy wife, happy life, and all that stuff. This is all Queen of Heaven going on right now, man. You know,
That's mama's reason. Like
Yep.
that.
That destroys nations. You know, when you following after your woman, they want to have that. Notice it's always that women can't have that emotional connection to the man. You know,
And the man has all these goddamn entitlements that he has to do.
yeah,
You know how women are, man. Yeah, I know how women are, man. Hey, you know, like the woman beautifies herself and she's beautiful and all this. Well, honestly, in the ancient times, men were considered beautiful, man. A woman ain't nothing but a servant. A woman is a servant.
So now we have men that are servants on their women.
And a woman is walking. That's why these women walking around with their head up, beautified with all the makeup. You know what makeup means? You look up the word makeup, it means to cover something that is used up. Men had to wear makeup in battle and war and scars. Like when you finished a battle, you had a big slice in your face, you put some makeup on, so you would sit as a king, beautiful, man. What a song of somebody get that in Song of Solomon, man. 1 and 5. You look. Song of Solomon. You can get it through the phone, man.
Yeah, I got it. You said 1 and 5?
Yeah, I think it's 1 and 5. See, everything is backwards. We wore the jewelry. You know, we were shown beautiful, man.
Like the prophet.
There you go.
The jewelry.
That's all coming back. Yep. But they made it like if you wore earrings as a man, you were sweet. You know, that's how they had it.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Go ahead, brother.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 5. It says, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will lead us. Oh.
You know, because at the end of the day, man, they switched everything. So now they beautify the woman, and a man is just going to be this tough, rugged slave. No, here, baby, I'm gonna open the door for you. Go ahead and get right on in. When you the protector, what the hell do you open the door for her for? Oh, you know when the man get down on his knees to the woman, baby, I'm sorry. I don't even have no bending knees. The woman's supposed to be getting down on her knees for you.
Right.
So when you get down on your knees to your woman, right? The woman say, "Yeah, I got this." Yep. That's what my mama told me.
Yeah.
I think you gotta think about it. You know, if I'm the man, right? I'm the provider. I'm the protector.
Right.
Supposedly, you know,
Right.
supposedly,
Right.
you know, the protector. You keep the, you know, somebody ready to rob your place. He's gonna look at you. You gotta take care. You gotta take care of the protector, right? You gotta take care of. You know, why in the world am I a servant to something I'm protecting?
So,
Right.
in other words, to all you guys that bend down on your knees to your woman, when somebody breaks in the house, you just say, "Hey, I got on my knees. You got to do it." Yeah. Go ahead, read Song of Solomon 1 and 5.
Song of Solomon 1 and 5. It says, I am black, but comely.
That comely means beautiful.
Right? O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon.
Now, when you go to Revelation 1, then they speak of why did John the Revelator speak of Yahweh, what he looked like? He said his head was white as wool, his feet like a fine brass, which is a dark brass. That's beautiful. That means fine, like the Most High made his son perfect on this earth. The perfect establishment of how a man is supposed to look. He's probably real tall, muscular.
Yeah, man.
And he had perfect everything.
Right.
That-
I was got into it because I could see
Right.
the vision.
So fine brass is that they burn, meaning beautiful brass, dark brass.
Another thing is voice of many waters.
Voice of many waters.
You realize he spoke like a man.
Right.
You know, he was speaking to multitudes of people.
Right.
You know, he had to have a crazy manly voice in order to speak to that many people and everybody without a microphone. For people to hear him.
Yeah. Well, that was manly. It was manly. Yeah. Yep.
So prophet, like he made Barry White voice.
Oh yeah.
look like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know Barry White. You know what I'm saying? But his probably was like even better than that.
So he had a beautiful appearance, but strong. He said he was austere.
Austere.
Man. That was the man. Even going back in the 80s and 90s.
Come on,
Jake was walking with the Russells.
yeah.
And the shell heads. And yeah. There you go. With the shell, and we were bobbing.
Yeah, we Bob Simon
We
Harris.
were holding our testicles.
Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah.
That was showing our courage, our strength, and our beauty, man. We had that.
Remember Mr. T?
Yeah,
Mr. T.
Yeah.
Mr. T was a prime example.
Yeah.
We had that, and a woman would be like,
Oh my God, got the page on your side and everything.
when you had that look.
Yep.
And remember back in the day, we wore the Duke rope
Yep,
gold.
the herringbone, the gauge rope.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had the gold watch.
Gold watch,
Why do we do that?
the nugget bracelet.
It was for beauty, man. But now beauty is
Gold
fucking. Yep.
With the champagne glasses.
Yep. That was us. But now the black woman is lifted up as beautiful, man. But there's nothing wrong with that because we all supposed to be beautiful together. But she was supposed to be on a lower level than us.
When they get to that level of knowing that they beauty,
That's why you get cheated on so much.
Who enabled her? What enabled her? What type of mindset she got? The scriptures say beauty is deceitful. Beauty is vain and favor is deceitful. You know, but a woman that fears the Lord, she shall be free.
And the scripture says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman. Why is that? Because women trap you, man. I mean, it was Solomon. Well, Ecclesiastes 7:26. It's crazy, man, how they switch everything and turn it upside down. That's why we in the prophecy, man. Babylon gonna be destroyed, man.
I got
prime example. Jake head down, you know.
that being a simp, like you said, Solomon, but we know that was our side. You know, when he was Solomon, he came back and he realized that he was a simp. You know,
Yeah, he was a simp too.
Yeah. Adam was a simp, and that's why we
were simps.
We were simps.
Yeah.
We not no better.
Yeah.
You know. Right. But when he came in our side, he ain't had no woman behind him. You know, he got that fan behind every strong black man. There's a strong black woman.
No, they switched it. Behind every strong black woman is a strong black man. They just switched it real quick.
Yeah. Our side ain't had no woman behind him, man. Okay. That's why you don't see. I mean, if a woman come up, you know, we deal with them accordingly. You know, but there ain't no women gonna have no garment on.
Well, he did have women that supported him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Murray, you know.
Yeah, man.
When they came out to Sepulchre, they I think it went and told, who was that?
That was Murray that went to go tell was it John?
Was it John? They didn't believe him at first. You know? And this is why we consider holy, man. Even amongst other certain camps, man, because they sit up there and have that woman read poem and shit like that. Yeah. Oh, he's done. You know, we separate, man. Cause we ain't having none of that bullshit.
Hey,
here, man. Yeah. You a woman, you gonna do a woman's job.
And Ezekiel 34. I got this right fast. Ezekiel 33. 20. Ecclesiastes 25 and 24. Hey, so I got a question. You got a woman that you deal with?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me read this for you. Ecclesiastes 25 and 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So Are you the man of your household?
What version is that?
This is the apocrypha. Out of you got it. The apocrypha is the KJV version of the apocrypha.
Why do you ask what version?
Oh, because different texts were changed at different times.
Okay, get 1 Corinthians 11 and 8 in the Bible. If you don't want to hear it in the apocrypha, let's hear it in the Bible.
That's not the point that I was making.
Okay, it is a point because you have.
I'm over here to just listen, man. Y'all gotta talk to me. Go ahead.
So 1 Corinthians 11 and 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man.
Right, go ahead.
Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
Yeah, how plain is that? So do you have that? Is that a wrong text? So do you have a problem with the KJV version? A lot of people tend to do. That's why I'm asking.
Y'all can go ahead and say y'all different, man. I don't think.
Well, let me give a little history lesson. It wasn't about King James, by the way, because King James is not even mentioned in the Bible. Number one.
That was about 500 years after. Why would he be mentioned in the Bible?
Well, he was just a translator. He helped translate it. But you had other Bibles, like the Bible of the Tinsdale Bible of 1382. You had the Great Bible of 1539. You had the Geneva Bible of 1599. Then you had the King James Bible of 1611. So you had several Bibles, which really it was from the Old English to the New English. It said the same damn thing. So when people come up and say, it's a white man's book, it was written by a man, and this and that, well, at the end of the day, before the white man got a hold of the translations, it was a black man's book. A lot of people don't know that, right? Who was ruling Europe and England at the time of the 1300s? Just a little history lesson, secular history. It was Israelites, black men.
Yep. It was for the Romans.
The Romans.
All right, y'all are.
The Romans were, the original Romans wasn't even white. See how the school system.
Where were they from?
That came after Rome.
Where did the Romans originate?
The Romans
Where
originated
did the Romans
in
originate?
Genesis 25 and 25.
No. Historically, where did the Romans originate?
This is historic.
Where did the Romans
The
originate?
Romans originated.
Italy.
No, Europe.
And Sicily. Where did the Romans
Was
originate?
the Romans black or white?
The Roman Empire.
Was the Romans black
The
or
Roman
white?
Empire that
The
crossed.
original Romans. The white man stole the Roman Empire information.
Are we talking about the Byzantine Empire? Or are we talking about the original
The
Roman
Byzantine Empire was who? Were they black or white?
Empire? They were white,
No, the Byzantine Empire wasn't white.
No, they wasn't.
Where
See
was
what
it?
the white man
Where was
has
it?
done to us and corrupted us? That's why they call it the Dark Ages. The reason why they call it the Dark Ages is because so-called black people ruled the Moors. You ever heard of Moors?
The Moors were hundreds of years earlier.
No. The
Moors were the first civilization
When the
to
Romans
actually
went
travel
down,
the world.
when
You're
did-
talking about biblical
When
times,
did,
but you're like,
hold on, you don't know history. When did the Moors come into power, sir?
if you're gonna look into history, you gotta look at it objectively, not just to prove your
No, I'm
point.
gonna look at
you're
it
mixing two
clearly.
time periods into one. Just
They're not objectively, clearly. This guy, he doesn't know his history, man.
based off of
Clearly he
what?
doesn't know.
Where
Because
you
the
get
white
it?
man has taught us
White
that
man,
all we
HBCU
was
educated.
nothing.
What are y'all talking
It's
about?
hard to
It's not.
believe that
Y'all
the
can't
Moors
radicalize
Who set up the HBCUs, man?
Black people.
Okay. So you think that the so-called white man allowed you to?
That's what HBCU stood for, because we couldn't go get education in other areas. Black
Okay.
men
So who allowed you to
and
do that?
women
Who
to do
allowed
that.
you? Who allowed them to do that?
He doesn't,
Who gave them the power to set up the HBCUs?
bro. So
Did you know black
saying that HBCU is not accredited because they had to go through a government board that was ruled by white people? So HBCU, all the work that they ever did, just didn't. Just doesn't matter?
Okay, the little history. When the Roman Empire fell, who was ruling it?
Which one?
You had the Holy Roman Empire. You had
Which one?
the empire was set up in many different
The
sections.
original Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, which is the one who coined Christianity, are two different empires.
Exactly.
Which one are you talking
But they were
about?
so-called black people. When the Roman Empire fell, there was blacks started ruling. He doesn't know. He's an idiot. He doesn't know.
HBCUs ain't
He
telling you
doesn't
that
know.
you're an Israelite according to the Bible.
He doesn't know.
You disagree? You disagree with that too? What you just now said? Say it again.
No, about the Roman Empire. He doesn't know secular history. When we came into power, right, as so-called blacks, we started ruling Europe. And even white people know this.
Right.
White people know up in the Sicilians, the so-called Italians. You know, you look at like Joe Pesci and certain Robert De Niro, those ones that call Italian, they act just like niggas. Right? They just act just like white niggas. Right around the 300 300 mark of 300 AD is when we started coming in, rising up in power. And that's when we can go in Revelation 21, where it talks about 1,000 years. That was when we cast 1,000 years.
Yeah, because we didn't get the chance to talk about iconoclasm.
No, we never got there. He wouldn't have believed that. He would have believed that the images, he probably believed Jesus was white. Right? So he's probably in bed with the white man anyway. Look like a flame anyway.
That HBCU stuff ain't, it's accredited.
Nobody can take the truth.
It was from like around 300 AD to about the 1300.
About the 1300.
All the way up to, But even a little bit before that.
He think the Romans were just all white.
Yeah.
He just think the Romans, they took it, they were, the original Romans were Japhetic people.
Mother probably told him to go to college.
Yup. Everything he learned from the white man stood. He can't believe that we were something greater than we are. Yeah. All we was LeBron James and Harden and shit.
What is our history then?
Can I say
no America came out of nowhere. We just came out of Africa. What was we doing? Shooting darts at each other and shit?
Yeah. I believe Septimius Severus.
Septimius Severus.
Yeah, he was a so-called black man.
Yep.
And that was around like the 170 AD.
Yep. We was already coming into power.
Yeah.
From the Roman Empire. Yep. See, every time somebody see the word Roman, they automatically think white. Just like you see the word America, you think white. Yeah. Get the hell out of here. When Native Americans were here. See, the white man is the only people that go and conquer a nation and say it's them, right? And say it's all them. That's what they do with America, right? The Native Americans was here. But now all of a sudden to be American is white. Yeah. Motherfucker, this one your land. This is the same thing the white man does. Get have a coop too, man.
You know,
the wisdom too high for a fool.
I read that earlier. Flavian, which means we looking at that video, it means blonde hair is actually a really extremely rare condition. You know, but they try to make it seem like blonde hair, blue eyes is what so-called white man. That's the first thing that they think about. But that's a rare condition.
You know what I know about black? You know what I know about black people, man? The problem with black people, so-called black people, Israelites, they can't stand somebody else to be smarter than them. They can't stand for somebody to know more than them. And that's why before you came, there was another guy came up. Yeah, I know it all. And they always run down the street. Why would you stand and believe what you say?
And both of them had a problem. Whenever they ask, what version is that? They immediately got a problem. Notice that.
When we say the white man, they got a problem with that.
They got a problem with that. So they both had a problem with the Bible, man.
Yeah, what's the point of asking what version it is and you ain't learned about any of it in the HBCU? Dumbass.
Go and read that, brother. Yeah.
This is Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah,
so,
also
like it. Now go ahead. I was gonna say now them bringing up that point of what version that is makes no sense. Because they're not breaking it down in the script. They're not breaking it down in the script.
Well, after I cut him with it, after I told him that there was many versions before that, he looked stupid. Yeah. It ain't about just being the King James version, man.
Yeah, but the HBCUs now all of a sudden got a class on the King James version.
It doesn't matter though, because we'll cut them in the old Bible.
Exactly. So
we'll get the old Bibles and cut them. The old Bibles pretty much say the same thing. Go ahead.
A lot of know-it-alls out here, man.
That's all right.
But that's all good. That's
and then we agree, brother.
It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth my wine. Yep. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
Now, we didn't took time. We just went to Revelation 21, broke it down, and showed him. But see, you got to be able to believe it. In his mind, as long as he believes the Moors, he doesn't believe the Moors ruled Europe, which were Israelites. And the word Moor means black. Yep. He doesn't believe because we say the Dark Ages that had everything to do with so-called black people. They had a problem with racism then, especially when the white man came on the scene and iconoclazed the images. He also iconoclazed the history. That's why he took the black images and turned them white. Right. Because those images had everything to do before the 1400s.
Yeah. If I can say this too,
All we got to do is get the book, the Russian icon.
When people think Greek, they automatically think of white
I
person.
already think of white person.
But inside these HBCUs, they got Greek fraternities and Greek sororities. Where did that come from? There's nothing new is under the sun.
He ain't no shit, man. A lot of these people that come up here don't, man.
It says, he is a proud man, need to keep him at home. Who enlarge of his desire is hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather.
And the Hellenization, the Americanization, you know, everywhere that the so-called white man goes, he still cultures, you know, he steals languages, he steals everything, man. And he tries to make it seem like he's those people.
He was all in defense of the white man. He couldn't believe that the original Romans wasn't so-called white. He doesn't know. He just think the white man just conquered the world from day one.
Yeah.
He think the first people on earth was white, and they just ruled every damn thing. I mean, wisdom too high for a fool. How we gonna go in the scriptures and show him, man? How can you show somebody that? So you got to go on what you know with secular history. When we start coming into power, we ruled for 1,000 years. But in his mind, it was the white man that ruled for 1,000 years. It's hard for them. And then you have Black February, Black History Month. That's because they never taught you dumb niggas history.
See, this is the time where now they want to know everything because it's Black History Month.
That's all right. You keep dancing like a damn nigga, and when Russia send no missiles over here, right? Then while you doing your two-step, you're gonna be fried, black ass nigga. So,
I got this right here, right? Well,
get that in 1 Corinthians. No, go ahead.
all of those
What's the HBCU? The colleges?
yeah, historical Black college or university or something. But the
1 Corinthians 3:15.
those school systems, the school system is just indoctrination. That's all it is.
You think they're gonna tell you your history?
Yeah. The history that they teaching is his story. The word I got this motherfucker. What is an HBCU, right? And it says these institutions train young people who go on to serve domestically and internationally in professions and entrepreneurs and in the public and private sector. So all that stuff is you gotta.
I really want to talk to. You know what? I'm ready to have a conversation on him about the historically Black colleges, man.
What they call it, a dumb educated nigga?
You really think them devils going to teach you about your history?
Right.
Get that in Jeremiah 17:5, man. And get 1 Corinthians 3:19. Read that real quick.
It's First Corinthians 3:19.
Was the brother brought that out early on the comment board?
For the wisdom of this world is foolish with your house.
Read that again.
For the wisdom of this world is foolish with your house.
Right. The wisdom of this world is foolish in your house. Right? Keep going.
But it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
Right. That's how that dumb nigga that came up here and thought he knew something, he got mad and left. You know what I'm saying? They always do. And why did they stay and say, okay, let's show us in the Bible where it shows, let's go into the history of secular history and show you in the Bible.
You got a problem with the Bible,
right?
It's called a chain of events, man. That goes on, you know, in history.
Get Maccabees 1, First Maccabees 1. So I guess in his mind, when Antiochus took down the Israelites had to be white too. See, we never got that far. In his mind, the Israelites is white, the white man is white, everybody fucking white. Yeah. Nigga colorblind, man. If you get a black car and say that's white. You know?
So we just spawned out of nowhere.
Bro, get Jeremiah 17:5. I guess we were white. Go ahead, read that.
It's Jeremiah 17:5.
Read what the Bible say.
Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm.
You go to 4. Yeah, but that's what I wanted. They trust in man. Yeah. You know? And making flesh his arm. He joined the HBC bullshit, whatever that crap is.
That's not even it's not even records, man. Where are the records at? This is a book of records through history.
That's why when you quote one in Genesis, he said, no, historical. You know, they always do that, man.
Well, that is historical.
That is, but you just that's what you just gotta say. But if you got a, you know, the thing is, right? You got a problem. You come up here, you got a problem with the Bible, knowing damn well that we gonna bring scriptures out on you. You know, keep walking down the street, man. We ain't got the time for that shit.
Yeah, the Roman Empire was divided into parts, different parts.
Where is that in history, though?
You said, no, not that time. It was the other time. Man, shut the fuck up.
We got it in history, though. The beast. We were talking about that earlier. The beast, right?
Yeah, we was just talking about that earlier. Yeah. That's all in the Bible. You know,
the old beast and then the new beast. We're in a new Roman system, man.
But that's that what's that HBC, whatever that shit is. I don't. The historically black coon colleges or something like that. Yeah, something about coon colleges. Get Ecclesiastes 12 and 12.
Those are those the preachers. That's where they get.
That's where they go. And they get a doctor. Look, like what's his name?
Yeah.
The one look like a walrus. TD Jakes.
Yeah.
Thomas Jackson Jakes. What's his name? You know. He's like a walrus. This motherfucker goes to college and get a doctor's degree in like a year and a half. Like, what the hell was you doing in there?
Right.
Like they uploaded the simulation in his head, and he started like the Matrix, like Neo, and he learned it real quick.
HBCU, that's Isaiah 30 1. Covering, but not of my spirit.
Hey, going down to music for help. Get Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. Got it. 12 and 12. Just deceiving. Go ahead, read it. 12 to 12, right?
And further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end.
So you can see them every time you see somebody teaching on YouTube. They got a big shelf behind, like 2, 3 of them. But all these books, none of these niggas read none of these books, man. Cosmetic. It's all cosmetic, like the brother said. You can see both men below to them. Every time they do a video to get at the Hebrew Israelites, there's like 1,000 books behind them.
Yeah.
So and that nigga, he got mad because he wasted his money on that bullshit college education. That's why he pissed off. In his mind, these niggas can't be right. I spent $30,000 in college. My dollars is worth that much. What is your dollars worth? Right. The thing about it, Esau, the white man, he knows. He knows more about history than Jake knows. Hell yeah. Hey, Esau, man, he be doing the videos, he be breaking it down.
Well, you do have certain situations, right, where the Esau didn't want to teach our people how to read, right? None of that stuff, you know. And some of our people did take it upon themselves to try to help each other learn and stuff like that, you know. And that's kind of where that stuff started from, man. Because so during slavery, Esau would kill you if you was reading and writing, you know. So some of our people would do it behind closed doors, sort of say. You know?
Yeah, what happened with that when you go back to the history? Because I read up on a lot of this stuff. What happened is when we came into captivity, we didn't understand this language. And they didn't want us reading and writing our language because they knew we were the Hebrews. So what they did through slavery and beating, like the brother said, we were still trying to read and write, meaning to go to our God. But we didn't want it, they didn't want us to do it. So what they did is they hired leaders, black leaders, to teach the black men how to read and write. So what they would do is like on the Sabbath, right? Because they followed Sabbath back then in the slavery. What they would do on the Sabbath is they would hire black pastors, right? Men pastors, no women. They would hire black men pastors to get a group, certain groups, and have a church and teach them the new Christian way. And then as long as we could read and write, as long as you read and write according to what the pastor says. Not according if they found us writing something in Hebrew or something we wrote, then they would kill us for that shit. Or chop your hands off or something.
Yeah. The same way, HBCUs, they found you teaching about Israelites. You got a class called Great Millstone in the HBCU. Yeah, you take that class gets this.
Who runs the HBCUs? Right. These people. You mean to tell me I'm going to believe somebody getting numbers 12? Oh, not numbers. Sirach 12 and 10.
I got a scripture after.
Go ahead. If you got a scripture.
Okay. All right. Well, it's two short ones. Could they go with each other? This goes for for that guy too. The guy that came up, and then the other one earlier. All right, or anybody. In general. All right. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 5. It says, "Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out." Right now, I'm going to get because they go hand in hand with each other. I'm going to get Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 4. It says, "The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The wellspring of wisdom is like a flowing brook." When you think of a brook, it's like a valley, like a river. It's flowing. So the counsel of the heart of man is that both of them, it's like he's drowning. You're drowning. Them guys. That's the counsel of the heart of man. You can't. It's like you can't breathe. But it said a man of understanding is going to draw it out. That means allow it to flow. That means allow it to continue to flow so it don't build up on you. It's living waters. So it flows. What water does when it flows, man. And when it flows, it has it carries energy too. It carries energy. It's that current. It carries energy. All right. And that's the wisdom of the scriptures, man. The wisdom of this world is going to force you. Is going to have you choke, man. The wisdom of this world is like deep water. It's like deep water. That's why everybody confused and dying and suffocating.
Well, Paul said, "If a man be ignorant, let him be ignorant."
Yep. I got a quick piece on that. Wisdom too high for a fool. I got that real quick. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. He doesn't want the king. No, you did.
This backs it up. This is Ecclesiasticus 21 and 14. It says the inner parts of a fool are like a broken vessel, and he will hold no knowledge as long as he lives.
Now, how you going to ask somebody? You told me. We asked you the question. You told me that when we give you the answer, you don't like it.
Yes. Guys, this is Sirach 12 and 10.
This is for your HBCs, historically black colleges, set up by white men to teach you white history. God damn it, the goddamn educational system was set up by white men. Then you go to elementary school and learn from white men. So you think when you graduate high school, now you're going to go to an institution just for you black niggas. Think about that. Does that make sense?
That's to be a doctor in this white man's world, a lawyer in this white man's
And if you are that, okay. But if you know your history and know who you are, that's all right. Because you got some that's in the truth or know the truth that are doctors.
Right.
Go ahead, read that.
Yep. It says, "Never trust thine enemy."
Right. So when you go to those colleges, those same colleges are ran by white historians, so-called. And they're by 33rd degree Masons.
Yeah.
So that's why when you go to college, right? If you're good, let's say he might have been a good old boy, butt pirate. They probably there tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you want to join our?" I got he specifically got.
Oh no. This is from the brother in charge. He pulled up something. Going to this whole HBC thing. He says debt slaves, and on that has a list of things: schools, labor, taxes, debts, retirement, and above it, it gives like religion, governments, education, and media. Now, within education, it says programming the intellectual with status quo in academia. So it's all a program game. Like with the HBC.
HBC ain't nothing but a court. It's nothing but a court.
And that's why it's all tied together. Religion, government, education, and media. All those circle around one person's life. There's not a single thing on this that doesn't revolve around a person.
It's all court. It's all sorcery. Right? When you look at the word court, like when you go to court,
Okay.
it just means game. Like when you go to basketball court, tennis court,
Oh.
when you go to jail, they send you out to the courtyard and shit. That's all those colleges are, man. They ain't nothing but fucking courts, man. That's why in every educational institution, they had some form of gymnos going on there. You know?
If I remember correctly, actually, when basketball started here, it was actually in the prison system.
Yeah, I don't know. I know James Naismith supposedly started it, but we know it came from Jake. It probably did. They gave the credit to a white man. You know? I got something. But every religious, every educational institution has some form of courtyard.
I heard academia, which is academic.
Go ahead.
In Spanish, not the Spanish class. When we take a test, they have us sign our name first and last to sign a certain thing. So if they find any form of use of translator in Spanish class, you can be suspended. And they call it academic dishonesty.
Whoa.
And this white man has been nothing but academically dishonest. He hasn't kept one treaty. Go ahead, brother.
I got the word. I got the word. I got the word accredit. Right? Which the word accredit, it means of an official body, right? Give authority or sanction to someone or something when recognized standards have been met. So who set the standards for these HBCUs? Esau. You know, you gotta go to him to get the curriculum. So that's what he was saying. You think just because our people had to get permission? Yes. That means that everything that after that is wrong. Right. See, all you gotta do is give a nigga, go to Home Depot, Office Depot, print out a goddamn diploma and shit. And then your mama standing there, you got that little cap, you're in that black robe with that gown, with the little cap,
the tassel,
with the tassel, flips to the side. That all represents the Masonic. That's why they'll see them in the Masonic pose. They'll have the tassels to one side, they'll cross their legs to one side. You'll even see women in when you see them in movies, they'll all cross their legs the same way, man. All that shit is Masonic. You see, all you gotta do is give a nigga a big, what I call it, diploma. I remember when I was all happy. Yeah. And it is a accomplishment to make it in this. To beat the odds. But but it's like for truth's sake. So really, the Lord's gonna hand us out our gift when we get to the kingdom, man. We didn't get 624.
Matthew 5 and 13, I believe. We are the salt of the earth.
Yes.
You know, if you don't have this salt, the scriptures say that you trod under the foot of men. You know, so the elect ain't gonna be no being trodden under the foot of men, being in treaty with Esau, never trusting thy enemy. You ain't gonna be in that mindset.
Right.
You know?
All you gotta do is give a nigga a diploma. And he think he's the historical black college. They think they done send their chest out. Then they come up here and get some points.
That's an incorruptible crown.
Right.
No, that's a corruptible crown. We try to get the incorruptible.
Right.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one question.
The diploma get burnt up like now.
How they burning diplomas down? Colleges. Go ahead. What you say?
All one of those teachers, I wonder, can I clean y'all swords? I'm just gonna wipe the sword off. This is a lot of blood dripping.
Hey, when they get cut and run down the street, and it's all the spirit of the Lord.
Yes.
We don't exalt ourselves up, brother. Okay. It's all Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man.
Yeah.
Let's give all the praises, honor, and glory goes to the Heavenly Father.
Yep.
You know, because we still have to remain humble. Right. You know, right. And that the Lord can remove us at any time, man. You know, I'm thankful that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua just used us as a vessel. So when a sword is bloody, that's the Lord's. Yeah, that's the Lord's sword that got them bloody. That's what we say.
Yeah.
We say I say it every day now, though, for real. But that's what we say in our Passover. You know, why the Most High for giving us the like the that's Barakah Yahweh, you know. So that's why the Yahweh Shah for giving us the light to see. You know, I see that daily, man. You know, get that in Proverbs. Drop that. Get Proverbs 126. I got quick.
No, go ahead, bro. This is Isaiah 62:6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls.
Yep.
Which shall never hold their peace, day nor night.
Right.
Yet ye that make mention of the Lord keep not silent.
So we open up. That's why we say all praises and honor to Yahweh.
Hashem, Yahweh Shah.
Because if it wasn't for the Lord, hell, one for the Lord, a nigga wouldn't be a nigga. Yeah. But he could have had us get one.
Yeah.
It's super hard to come out of that nigga tree, man. No, man. That's a big, powerful nigga tree.
A spell. It's a spell. Yeah. It's a spell.
We got album off of Boondock Shade. That's a powerful nigga.
All right, read that. Proverbs 126. This is Proverbs 1:26. I also will laugh in your calamity. Go to 24. Verse 22. Verse 22. 22. No, I said verse 22. Verse 22, okay. This is, it says, how long, ye simple ones, will you live submissive without bringing down? Yeah, so you got it. Yeah, so how long, so how long you going to listen? You got it. Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. Yeah. How long y'all going to keep loving this place, man? How long y'all going to keep, going in y'all simple ways? How long will you love Esau's doctrine? Yeah. SBLU. Yeah. Yep. How long, man? How long? Super Black Coon University.
You see that Esau, those people that love Esau's doctrine, people that love his money, Esau quick to turn on you, man. Look at Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby had it good, right?
Yep. He's on this historically black colleges, but yet they boule. We don't want to go into the history of the boule, man. So when because we be out here an hour talking about that. But that guy, he might be boule.
Yeah.
He figured,
these niggas think they know something.
yeah. That's why he said, what version is that? That had nothing to do with it. He just wanted to know something. That's why I wanted to ask him, well, why you say that? Because usually when they ask that, they got a problem. Well, that's why I told him that it doesn't matter. It don't matter. And then when I told him King James, that don't even matter because King James ain't mentioned in the Bible. So what the hell are you talking about? He's just an authorized translator. And before King James, you had in fact, it wasn't until the Bible was after 1611 that they took the Apocrypha out. That's why he asked what book was that? Well, you know that was in the King James? The Apocrypha is in the original King James. Wow. As it is in the original Geneva, the original Great Bible, the original Tinsdale Bible. You know, there was many Bibles. The Cloverdale Bible of the 1300s. Jay, look, don't come up here with that madness like man. See, we do videos every day, and in our videos, we're in school daily. Our learning don't stop.
Right. Yeah.
I do a video daily, man. Sometimes 3 of them in a day. Our learning never stops, man. It never stops. College, they're on a Martin Luther King's Day. We're going to take off today. Hell with that. Not here. Nope. Presidents, look, the historical black colleges, President's Day came by. What happened? They shut down. Yep. See, we do the complete opposite. Instead of shutting down, we go into that history of it. Yeah. Yep. Tell them the bullshit right in that face. What happened when this thing went around? It was empty out here. You see tumbleweeds. We was out here, man. We was out here. All these stores was closed. Oh, we was out here. Yep. The Baltimore riot. The Baltimore riot. Yeah, y'all brothers went out there, man. Yeah. And you know what's gonna happen? All that shit that happened, when that shit go down, that nigga will be sitting right up there in Black Lives Matter. Yep. He'll be marching with them. And who runs the Black Lives Matter? These devils.
Woo! See a lot of them shirts walking by here today, man. Woo! When black people are the first ones to sell your ass out, man. Be the first one to give up their heritage, especially our women, man.
Everybody say Black Lives Matter. We wouldn't be in this situation we're in now.
Right. And that's why the scriptures sit up here. How long you simple ones will you gonna love simplicity, man? How long you Israelites, you so-called black Latino and Native American people gonna love simplicity, man?
Black people always think they know shit. They did no studying, but then they think they know. Or they learn from these. See, that's a guy that you would never convert. Because in his mind, he's got his diploma, right? He's got his BS bullshit degree, right? And he thinks he knows shit, right? Hey, I used to get trophies all the time for sport. I ain't never make it to the NBA. I'm just saying. Hey, those rings that all them NBA players got, when they die, they can't take the rings with them. Yes, your black ass gonna die. You know? So it don't matter. That's foolishness. That's all Rico Roman shit, man. You really think, like, look, man, if you had enemies you was over, you really think you gonna tell them about their own heritage if they were better than you? You think that white man's really gonna say, look, historic in black colleges? And then what's telling you what's bullshit about the black colleges? They're teaching them about their history and white history. They're saying that the Europe is always by white people. When you hear the word European, you automatically white people. No. Yeah, you do. Where were they at? Every man was deported to their inheritance. You had the Edomites was in Edom, you know, it was pushed up when it was in the Petra, then it was pushed up in the Caucasus Mountains, and they came out of power. And then what's the scripture you like to read? 1 Samuel 2. And, here we go. Yep, 1 Samuel 2.
2 and 6.
2 and 6. Here you go. At 7 actually. That was an example. They went to the historical black college.
Here we go.
You send look, man, don't ever send your daughter to any goddamn college, especially the black ones.
Yeah.
You send your daughter to the black colleges, it's over. You better get a train ticket. Yeah. Yep. Because they're gonna get ran through like a train. Next! What they call them in that be at the they're taking the tickets and shit.
Conductors. All aboard!
Yeah.
But really conductors in the side.
Yeah.
You go to colleges, where's Cyresa at? Your ticket over there. Your ticket is $30. Damn. And you tell your ticket to go in there, the next nigga coming out, another nigga going in. Hey, look, man, especially the white colleges, they take the black woman, drug them up real good, and have all kind of freak shows with them, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead and send your daughter to college. I know this guy that he sent his daughter to college. I said, hey, how's your daughter doing? Because he wanted out the house. He said, hey, well, she got pregnant. He really didn't know who the father was. It was just a mistake. It's normal, man. They got their ass drunk and biting her out. It's normal now, man. You know, a woman get pregnant. Who the father? I don't know. Oh, okay. All right. Well, have a good day. Right. It's normal now. It shouldn't be like that. Right. But it's okay to be a whore, man. Yeah. That's what they push, man. They push the agenda that it's okay to be the whore around, man. To be a whore. You know? And every woman you walk by, everybody's fucking woman showing they got dick. You look at that naked woman, man.
Yeah, hell, they probably admit they're whores. I haven't met many black women that said that they angry about it. Who was against Samuel? What? 1 Samuel?
No, you could have went to 1 Samuel 2 and 7. You go to 7.
This is 1 Samuel 2 and 7.
Yes.
It says the Lord maketh poor and maketh rich.
Right, the Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. So he don't clearly believe in the Bible. Because he don't believe that a nation was over the white man before. He can't believe that. Go ahead.
He bringeth low and lifteth up.
Now we're the only people that talk about black power, black beauty, and black culture.
Black excellence.
But yeah, we're nothing. We were nothing in history but some Hamites scratching our behinds, jumping up and down with one big stick. That's how they Look at us, man. Yeah. And our own people believe that's all the hell we were.
Yeah. Yep. He fucked up against the scripture. What's wrong with the scripture that we brought out? Right. You brought out the First Corinthians. Yep. Yep. You know. Yep. Was it 7 and 11?
11 and 8.
It's the truth of the matter, man.
He couldn't get it. So really, sometimes what we do is we use the scriptures to cut them, which is the Lord. The Lord's words cut them. Hebrews 4 and 12, man. Yep. That's all you gotta do. What up, them cynical, sneaky niggas that think they know every damn thing? The best thing to do is cut them or just send their ass on down the street.
And that's not they don't think that the Bible is a book of history, man, and that it's a book of history repeating itself. You know, they don't think that. Our people got up in that Roman system, and you know,
let's get that. You kept going into that. Let's go to Maccabees.
They got up in those Roman seats and stuff like that, just like us today. They getting up in the seats.
Look at Colin Powell was up there, the top general.
They think, oh, Barack Obama wasn't our people. You know?
Yes.
I don't even want to know.
Prophet is this judge, this new judge.
Yeah. Black judge,
black
black woman judge.
You know when there's called transfer, what's it called, emancipator, which is a transfer of a rulership. You know, you have a thing called transfer of rulership. In their minds, they just think the white man just woke up one day and said, I'm in power today. It takes time, man. Yep. You got it, Maccabees.
That's also a way of Esau saving face to give our people certain little things. You know, that HBCU save face. You see that our people are complaining about certain things. You know, okay, we want to get them a little bit. You know, just so to ease their pain. They say that they healed the pain about what is it? The pain of my daughter slightly.
Yeah. Healed the hurt of the daughter.
Healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly. Saying peace when there is no peace. You know.
Yeah, that's Jeremiah 8:11.
To avoid humiliation. That's what save face means. To avoid humiliation. To avoid people coming at you much more harder. So they give you a little bit. You know. We finally got it.
Yeah.
Like, people happy that they got it.
Yeah. Throw my bone.
They would have been, before he came up, we was talking about that. Who would have been up north, those type of niggas that got money to. This is why the North always was better in wealth and better educated than the South. You know, when you look back in the history with the Harriet Tubman, those are more civilized Negroes up north because they were taught by tares, you know, by Edomites that had black skin. They would have had your complexion, but their father would have been white then.
No, Prophet, I don't want to be that. I want to be what we are.
Huh?
I want to be what we are.
No, yeah.
I don't want to be that.
No.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But Prophet, I don't want to be that. I want to be this. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then, well, we all over now.
Okay.
You know, we got brothers up north, we got brothers down south. We scattered all over the world. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, read back.
This is First Maccabees 1 and 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of
Philip Macedonian.
the Macedonian,
Right.
who came out of the land of Shittim, as fighting Darius, king of the Persians, and the Medes.
Right. So you had different empires. That's when the Greeks came into power. When they smoked the Darius. Right. The Medes. Remember, you had the Babylonians, the Persians, you know, the Medes. You had the Greco-Roman Empire. Keep going.
That he reigned and established the first over Greece.
So that's why everybody think Alexander, when you see Alexander the Greek, because he was a so-called white man, that's why everybody think all the Greeks were white. He was calling himself Alexander the Greek. That's why he said the Greek. Right, go ahead.
says many wars.
He didn't say Alexander the white man. He said Alexander the Greek man. Right? So everybody thinks white people, that's their white supremacy. Go ahead.
You're outside right now?
And one many strongholds. And slew the kings of the earth.
Right. Was that the whole earth? No, because America wasn't, it was, even though it was already discovered, it wasn't in a power structure in the earth. You know? Go ahead.
And went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations. And so much that the earth was quiet before him.
Right. This is where you got your first Hellenization period, where you get Alexander the Greek, when you're dealing with Hellenized Jews. When you read this whole story, it goes into how we were forced to follow the customs of the heathen, of the white man, and we started speaking Greek, like Timothy, his father, spoke Greek. Various other Israelites spoke Greek. Right? That was the Hellenization of the world. Go ahead.
Dang. Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. Right? And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over the country and nation, and kings who became
tributary. Now, when you go to Alexander, right, he had many generals. You know, a lot of us speak on four main generals. Who know the four main generals? Saunders, which you also had a general named by the name of Antigonus, you know, who was that's out of the Seleucid Empire. I mean, no, it was one of his generals. I mean, that was out of Seleucid, right?
Oh, they're open?
Seleucid, you gotta keep reading. Antigonus, he was just one of the generals that Alexander set up too. Remember, he had many generals. Right. If you go look it up, man, he had a whole bunch of generals, but you had the four main ones. But it'll keep reading who came out of Seleucid. And I believe Antiochus came out of the Seleucid. Yeah, that's what I was
It says, and after these things he fell sick.
Yeah, because he didn't live long. Go ahead.
And perceived that he should die. Therefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and guarded his kingdom among them, while he was yet alive.
Right. So when you're dying, you're going to set up tributaries to fulfill the agenda. Like that's why Alexander took on Philip. Philip Macedonia wasn't as successful as Alexander. Go ahead.
So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Right. He didn't reign very long. I mean, that's good time.
He died at what, 33, 32, 33, something like that. He was in his 30s.
And his servants bare rule everyone in his place.
So after he died, and I'm just trying to go through the whole thing. The men that came from him and out of him, it got real nasty, man. They got real nasty, especially when Antiochus came, man. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna read the whole chapter, but it got real nasty, and that's how they went to sack the temples, and that's when they had our women naked, and that's why you see the Olympics. Gymnos, the word gymnos really means naked. Keep going.
It says, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils will multiply in the earth.
Evils will multiply in the earth, but Ptolemy Soter was one of them. Ptolemy Soter, he went down in Egypt and conquered Egypt and brought hell on the Egyptians. And he declared himself the Pharaoh. See if that I don't know if the black SBU go through that type of stuff. I don't know. They might touch on that, but they won't go for a history of how the Ptolemies all the way down the lineages had several out of his lawyers, he had several. There was many Ptolemy.
Yeah, it was actually. It was a lot of Ptolemies. He had at least, I would say, if I remember correctly, at least maybe 5 to 8 Ptolemies.
I don't know. Well, you know, you have to look that up. You have to look it up. But he had a good lineage of Ptolemy. And then what happened is, he out of the Ptolemies came, was it Cleopatra? Was a white woman. They had a twin. Cleopatra had a twin brother who was a Ptolemy, right? And he was supposed to step up next to rule in Egypt, but they set up Cleopatra to do it because she was a whore.
Oh,
So that's how they wanted her to take down Rome. Or was it? Yeah, they had to take down Rome because Rome was starting to come into power. Because you know, ultimately Rome took down the Greeks. Right? So Cleopatra went to sleep with the generals and figured, because they knew some of the records that men fall through women. So she started going up, Mark Antony and all them. She started going up in Rome, started sleeping with different men in order to get power. But it backfired. And they said, this woman is ruling Egypt? Fuck this. We're going to take this shit down. And they came in and conquered Egypt.
yeah.
You got it? Yep. There's a lot of history on that, man.
Yeah.
There came out of the wicked work. Antiochus,
There we go.
surnamed Epiphanes.
Antiochus Epiphanes. And he was the one. That's what white people was going against white people. That's the same thing you see now. That's the same thing you see America against the U.S. Same goddamn thing. Yep.
Is Biden Antiochus?
You say what?
Is Biden Antiochus?
He could be.
It could be. It could be. It could be.
I should be.
He comes. Hey, little weasel.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who it might be.
Oh,
Food means power, man.
oh,
You know?
okay.
Vladimir means ruler of the world.
Oh,
Or power.
okay.
Keep going.
Okay. That's what's up.
Son of Antiochus the king,
Right.
who had been hostage of Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year.
So that's when they looked and they saw the Greeks. And they said, man, Cleopatra running this. A woman? Take them mother. And it was an easy take. You know? Go ahead.
It says, the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Those days went out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
That's that SBCU. That's what that is.
That are round about us.
Yep. That's the covenant with the heathen.
Wow.
They said, fuck black history, real black history. We want to listen to what the white man has to say about our history. All your politicians, all those politicians, your black judges and all them, they all made a covenant with the heathen, man.
Yeah, after slavery, the slaves ain't know where the heck to go at. You know?
Right.
During segregation, these people ain't know. That's why those HBCUs had to get shut up by the so-called white man. You know? That is true.
It is true. White men run them colleges, man. See, that's what we saying, man. Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. They don't know. They hate that.
Yeah, they hate that.
See, a nigga, all he do is get a college degree and think he's smart. But that's why he runs down the street and keep talking. I guarantee you, we don't even have to look who runs the HBCU. We already know who runs the NAACP.
Right.
Who runs the Black Panthers? Right? Who runs the Black Panthers? Who runs Black Lives Matter?
Right.
That rascal right here, George Soros. He funds the black woman, man. But the black woman gonna take it in And so the man is going to surround him. That's why the dumb niggas walk down the street like that, man. Salaki was using that terminology. But that's what we got to call them. We call them dumb Negroes, man.
Gotta go to them for the curriculum, man, for everything, man.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's a big setup to have an HBCU. That's a lot of permits that you gotta get. You gotta go through them to get. You gotta go through the government to get.
That's talking about the Masons. That's why they get mad. That's the facade. Right. That's what it all boils down to. When you talk about the fraternity, they're all brothers. That's why they call them frats. Frat means brother. And that's why they get, every once in a while, every year, you'll see them go to a frat house, and it'll be in what? Greek letters. Greek. Yeah. Well, we know who it's all set up by.
Yep.
That's that simple. Think about it. If we all right here say, yo, let's start up an HBCU right now.
Okay.
Who do you got to go to get that?
The banks.
Everything.
Who set it all up? Who set all that stuff up? You got to go through those.
And these Negroes that think black people run the no, they will be CEOs. They'll set a CEO up. Like the Black Entertainment Network. If the nigga was dumb enough to sit by and listen, and we'd explain to him that the BET is owned by the Redstone family. Yeah. And we look at Redstone, man. That's Edomites. They're red, and they like the stones. Look. And then you know what they do? They set up a black CEO to run BET.
Have a smiley right, bro.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Nick Cannon and that wilding out shit. That's all we good for, man. Yeah. Fucking wilding out. Why would you subscribe to something like madness like that, man? And then look at our people. They're wilding out.
Yeah.
Right, what do we got? Check the red hair over there. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that right there? I know you have it. Yeah,
You good? You all right?
See, that's why this place is lawless. That's why the Most High got to reestablish, reboot the earth. It's got to be done. And put everything back in order. Like this, man, go ahead. Madhouse, man.
Verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. But since we departed from them, we had had much sorrow.
Now, when you go back into the Babylon, they were doing the same thing. That's why we read that in Jeremiah 44, when they said we would burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, because when we didn't, we had much sorrow. Right. And that's what happened when the Lord exited us out of Egypt. They wanted to go back. Some wanted to go back because they made a covenant with the heathen. Because when you come into the truth, it gets hard. And people want it easy. Oh, they want it like Lot's wife. What happened to her at Permis? Come on, get that bottle, man.
Wow. They always, what they call it, the backsliding. Keep on going on the same thing. It's probably the same niggas all the time. They wanted to go back to Babylon, go back to Greece, go back to Rome, go back to America. It's probably the same people all the time. Man.
Like if they didn't believe what we said, just going down the street. Why stop us? You know why you black ass niggas, Negroes stop up here? Why? Because you think that you can stump us on whatever history you learned from the white man. Yeah. We're the real scholars up here, man.
Yes, sir.
So Shazat Ben Yahweh, he because Salaki Kazat. Ben Yahweh, he left a comment. He got who created HBU. W.H. Hinton began service as the first president of the college on July the 1st, 1962. The college opened in September 1963 with a freshman class of 193 students, a cluster of new buildings, and a teaching staff of 30 facilities. It says, Houston Baptist University, HBU, is a private Baptist university in Sharpton, Houston, Texas. The university was founded in 1960. Its cultural arts center So that's just a little history on, you know. But yeah, what's his name? H. Hinton, W.H. Hinton.
It's always the white man. They
Yeah.
use always there. Like Black Lives Matter. I think I named it Naomi, something like that. Nah. All right, too, man. Why for bringing that out?
And so long to all the Aqua.
Shalom on them.
But yeah, that Baptist, you couldn't even teach a different doctrine in those Baptist churches back then, you know, unless the so-called white man was there. You know, and that's the same thing for these colleges. You can't teach outside of the curriculum, you know, unless the white man don't even have to be there now for the indoctrination, because they're already there. They already indoctrinated and institutionalized people.
You know, you really think they're going to tell you your history? But even in some of their colleges, they have some history about us in there. But they knew at that time we wasn't accepted in those colleges, and black people don't like reading, right? So they know they can hide. You want to hide information, hide it in a book. So now that we are coming into ourselves, now we're going into books and researching. So you know what they're doing? They're beating us to the trigger, right? And they're setting up these counselors or these taskmasters, just like slavery, the teachers. That's all they did back then. You know, this guy that comes up, we help him out several times. But what did Yahushua say? You know, when we read the scriptures, the man that was lame, he healed him. He said, go sin no more. You know, he gave him the goodness of to be able to walk, be able to see. And we showed the Jake what to do. We gave him money, we gave him the truth. And now he just got it to come out with his head out. He just want money all the time and shit.
Right.
You know, you should be up here getting the real truth, man. The real money.
Right.
The real currency. No, get that Isaiah 55 and 1. I just want to show something, man. Yeah. We help derelicts, man. We help them. You know, but then it becomes like a cat that they ate. And then they want some more food and shit. Instead of trying to have some substance, man. This is the food right here, man. Yeah. Get Isaiah 55 and 1, man. It's the book of Isaiah. It's starting to piss me off, man. Yeah, this book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 1. It says, ho, everyone, what means listen, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye buy and eat. Yeah, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. So we're not like, okay, they get them big food jobs for the homeless. And all they coming up there is for the food. And they'll listen, and they figure if I join, I'm going to get free meals. That's all that shit is. You know, Jake is usury, man. Yeah. And then he going to tell them to go to social services and sign them up to get food stamps so he can take their food stamps and give them a couple dollars, feed them, and take their money in a rehab house. And you stack that over thousands and thousands of people, you become rich. Yes, sir. You're not supposed to be, the Lord said it about extortioners, man. They're going to research, get their part in late. Go back to Southwood, you had something.
Yeah, I got this. We have read it earlier. This is 1 Samuel 2 and 8. It kind of tie in. It says, he raises up the poor out of the dust and lifts up the beggar from the dunghill. Right. Our people have always been begging this man for everything rather than trying to beg the Most High. That's what good boy, they've been begging Esau for all this stuff, man. Oh, you're not supposed to beg Esau for nothing.
Right. So like you said, we done told him, you already told him that it's the Lord. You got to pray to the Most High that you get, and get you out that situation, man. You know, instead of trying to beg everybody else out here on the street, you got to run to the Lord, man. You know.
Sometimes it could be an angel or something like that. Okay. You know, somebody might just be down on that luck, be up and out. You know? Right. But like the elder said, this is the real truth. You know, we try to help you dig out, and it's possible if guys, the Lord did it many times before, where somebody may have been poor, and he helped them out. You know, he said, the lame person, go and sin why the scripture is written. To repeat it. It says, 1 Samuel 2:8. He raises up the poor out of the dust, right, and lift up the beggar from the dunghill.
Right. So you shouldn't be coming by to give every day, every 2 seconds, man. You know, it's okay. You know, some of the derelicts and them, you know, but damn, man. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says for you to work.
Yeah.
It's going to be if you're able and body.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those guys get checks and they blow it all week and shit. And then on the, I seen the guys do that shit.
That's one of the curses that the Lord put on us as men. We have to do that. You know, as a man, that's one of the curses. You know, it's rough, but that's something that you have to do. The sweat of our brow.
We might even be homeless, man. If it come down to it.
But it ain't like you done gave up on hope of being a man, right? You know, because you know you still that's a part of what you have to do, especially if you have children. You gotta take care of what you gotta do. You know, that's the curse that the Lord put on us as men. You know, because really we're not supposed to be paying for rent and all that stuff, right? The blessings that are going to be given unto the elect are things that are supposed to normally be we're supposed to have normally, right? We're supposed to live forever, right? We're supposed to not have to worry about rent, right? But the fact is that we have these problems of death, you know, having to pay rent. That's the curse, you know. Now you take all that away from someone, and you're making them have to pay for water, pay for the everything that's around you, right? You take that away from you take everything away from them that was good. They're not going to really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the Lord has done to our people. A lot, and the blessings, of course, they're blessings upon blessings. You know, but this is how it's supposed to normally be. You know, and once you get that in the kingdom, you ain't gonna want to go back to Babylon.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's going to be it's going to be so much more on top of the blessings. Say blessings on top of blessings, you know, because the not only are you going to not live forever. I mean, you're going to live forever, but you're going to be rich.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to cry no more.
But that's for the whole world, really, even the heathen.
That's what's up.
They're gonna be rightful on their part.
Yeah.
On the earth. Not rich like the Israelites will be rich.
Yeah.
The other heathens, they're gonna be happy, man.
Wow.
They're gonna live good.
Look at the little things that we get when we say the doors of blessings.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
a small thing.
Yeah.
You get a nice little bill.
Yeah.
Good bill.
Yep.
Lord, like, man, that ain't nothing. Really, you have service giving you that. Like,
right. Really to be blessed. According to the word blessed, means to be a owner. To have slaves. That's what it really means to be blessed.
It say, ask of me, and I shall give you the heathen for your inheritance.
Let's get that.
No.
Read Revelation 6.
We want to be kings, right?
Yeah.
Have service, right?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people
The white man do they got service.
Yeah, you're a king, Malak, you know?
We kings, we not in our seed.
We not in our seed.
Read that real quick. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 25. Isaiah 14. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. Right? What ye shall eat. Right? Or what ye shall drink. Right? Nor yet for your body. Right? Yeah, or what ye shall put on. So that's about faith. Right. It's really going into faith, bro. When shit hit the fan with us, we're gonna have to have faith. Okay. You know, go ahead. It's not life more than meat, right? And the body than raiment.
Right. You know what's crazy about that? That we have the elect, right? That's why the Lord said, while the bridegroom is here, can the bride mourn, pretty much. So while we have that mindset that we want to be with our side, so it's like no matter what we go through, we're gonna suffer. Okay, you know, and it's like Lord, that's why Romans 8 we cry Abba Father, you know, like deliver me from this. Like, well, how much more do I gotta prove that I love you? You know, because we want that.
Yeah.
You know, but we gotta go through the not worrying and all that stuff. You know, the Lord already said He's gonna protect you. Yahweh Shah said, "I want you onto the end of the earth." You know, and we want that. That's what we want. We want all of this hell that we about to catch. We want the Lord to be on our side. For real. And the Lord is saying, "Hey, I got you here." Look at all the darkness that we had going through. The people that we gotta. Our hopes is that we reach this God, not to freaking argue with this guy.
Right. You know what, though? If you need to go,
yeah, if you gotta go, you gotta go and die with the world.
I mean, this is an example right here. This is what I take when I went to meet, man. So they think it's like a different world, that show.
Yeah.
Jasmine Guy and all them. That's what Jake wants. The Wayne with the flip up glasses and shit. That's that boule shit. That's that historical black college man. And they train our women to be whores, walking around in 8-inch high heels, and the Jake walking behind in a tight suit. You know, like he feels better about himself that he with a woman dressed like a goddamn harlot.
And that's why we out here too. We don't care if it's just one person. You know, just have to say whatever they hear for, man. Hey, you know, we worldwide, man. Yeah, we worldwide. So if you're doing videos and only one person watching, as long as the elect was edified, man. That's all that matters.
Yeah. All right.
Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel. So it's hard to believe that historically black believe that the Lord gonna have mercy on him too, eventually. You know, we're really with the elect, but ultimately all Israel. Oh yeah. It says, "And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them." That's talking about the other Israelites. So some groups say that's talking about heathens. They know heathens gonna be joined with us, man. Hell. See, this guy, when it all boils down to this guy that was up here, he wants the white man to make it. Right. He loves the white man. That's what it all boils down to. That's it. That's why he tried to trick us up with some form of history, which he could.
Oh, man.
All right, go ahead. And it says, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them. Right, the people shall take them. Go ahead, and bring them to their place. The Israelites going to take the heathens and bring them to their place. Go ahead. All right, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. We can see this in Isaiah 49:22 as well. Same thing. You're going to possess them. We're going to possess them for servants and handmaids. Get Daniel 7:18.
The Lord might bless you on this side with concubine. That may say yes, miss. He may or may not, but he might give you a little taste of it.
Yeah, you gotta be a little weary though. Them Edomites might flip on your ass. Hey, they still doubles too. They still doubles. And them Edomites, they still doubles too.
He's shaving me up.
They be taking their old pictures, you know, getting off on it. And then the next thing you know, it made it to the police station. So that's that black Hebrews. You know, you gotta watch them Edomites, man. That's what Esau don't understand. That's what Esau don't understand either, too, about our women. They don't realize they still us. Yeah, they just under a spell right now. But when the Lord break that spell, you know, look, we were saying earlier, you know, you got these guys, you know, sit up there, you know, they have their agenda or whatever. You know, man, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but it flip on them all the time, man. Same thing. I guarantee that woman that walked over there with those historical black college Negroes, she's popping the D. Oh, yeah. You know, whether he black or white, it don't matter.
Right.
Them women in them black colleges, they are the biggest freaks on the planet. They are the biggest idolatrous freaks on the planet. Then again, I don't know about on the planet. They're woman nowadays fell on the water.
It's normal. It's like, look at that. It's like, okay, another naked woman. Right.
You know, every Saturday evening. You know, I talked to this woman yesterday that at the store. She was saying she was a correctional officer, and she was saying how the men there that all they do is lift weights and this and that, and they go lay with them and they get all weak. The white man knew what he was doing when he sent black women up to go in them. They really wanted to show the ruling authority of putting black women over us. That shows our greatest demise. While we're locked up, we got the woman walking down there.
I got to testify to that.
Yep.
Because she was
they talked to us like shit.
She prophet was in it. She said, "Didn't I tell you get your hands off the glass?" She told me. She said, "Come on." She said, "Don't touch me." I said, "I gotta go." She said, "Shut up."
I'll be like,
I said, you know what I said? She said, "Oh yeah."
And then here come all the niggas.
Yup. I was
Now they did that.
I mean,
I was locked up.
you know what I'm saying?
Then the black woman came up to me and said, "You can't do shit."
Yeah.
I said, "Shut the fuck up." And then all the niggas came. I said, "All right, we ready to go then."
Right.
And they ain't fuck with me though. I mean, they ain't like they surrounded me though.
You're big.
Big
problem.
So it was like 8 of them surrounded me.
Yeah, they had you.
I'm like, who next?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They was happy I calmed down.
Right.
So I said, all right, man.
Yeah.
You gonna tell her to keep in check though.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I am a man.
Right.
That's what I told him. I am a fucking man. Right. Remember when we got into it when the police came up? Fuck y'all way, man. All these chicks come out here, man. Now the hell with that, man. We ain't at the time of that, man. It's like that's all right. Remember we got into it with company and them? Yeah. And all the niggas surrounded us. Yeah. And then the police came and a woman came up. She was the first one to run them out. I said, "You ain't nothing but a fucking woman." Right. She said, "I know I'm a woman." And then the little nigga come stepping up.
Yeah.
You know? They always
do that.
Effing sips, man.
They always do that.
So I can curse so much today. I can't help it, man.
Niggas seriously make you want to get caught.
Yep.
That's
problem.
That's the biggest problem too.
Yeah.
Right? They'll take you out of the spirit and make you want to get caught.
Yeah.
And now people didn't have that problem before in ancient history.
Wow.
You know, we used to be a loving people, man.
It's hard to believe.
No, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back.
I mean,
you're gonna see that love. You're gonna see that love that these people don't have. It's gonna be much more harder, man. I got a quick scripture on. Go ahead. It's not. We got to read.
You delete
It's not really quick.
this guy.
Scripture
What you
going.
did right here.
he probably went to the historical black college.
A lot of I got that there's an event going on CIAA tournament. So a lot of those CUs are supposed to be playing basketball in that arena.
Well, that's all they're gonna do. They're gonna be cool stepping fetches for Esau. Oh no, wait a minute. That's supposed to be that verse.
That's the wrong thing.
That's gonna make everybody get it. Want everybody get sick too. That's gonna do it. Right? All right, go ahead and read, bro.
Hebrews 6:4. It says, "For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gift and were made partakers." Third part. It says, "And were made partakers of the Holy Ghost," right? And have tasted the good word of Yahweh and the powers of the world to come, right? Because we can equate that to somebody that comes in, and falls out. Okay. But we can also equate that to all Israel, because all Israel at a point in time they knew that they was Israelites. Okay. And they knew about the power of the Heavenly Father, right? It's just now they just straight up wicked. So we trying to renew them, onto repentance, because what the word renew mean?
Start fresh.
Start fresh. The word new, it's brand new, but then renew is to make it like start all over again. Okay. So that's what we trying to do, to renew these people to that understanding of who you are. Okay. It says if they so fall away, which that has happened, we fell away. Right? It says to renew them again unto repentance, seeing they crucified to themselves the Son of God afresh and put him to an open shame. And that's what these people are doing. they put Yahweh to an open shame from off of their activities and things that they done. You know, and everything that the Lord has done, He's tried. I came to save that which was lost. Y'all lost your way. You know, y'all following after ways that's leading you on to death. We're trying to lead you on to the way of life, man, and never die. You know, it says right. They said that you take. That's what we have done. We tasted the good word of the Lord and the powers of the world to come. Right. What the elder had brought out. We're gonna possess our possessions. Right. It says, for the earth which drinks in the rain that comes off upon it and brings forth herbs meet for them by whom it is dressed, receives blessings from God. It says, but that which bears thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. And that's they're the thorns and the briars. You know, the Lord is trying to bring them close, but it's like hurting yourself, really. You know, you ain't hurting the Lord, you hurting yourself. You know, because the Lord don't need you. The Lord don't need these people. What do He need you for? You don't got the mindset to try to worship Him, and He created you to worship Him. So our people are worse than the heathen. They're worse than the so-called white man. That's why they're going to get that judgment. They're going to get the same judgment that the so-called white man get. Here we are. We trying to tell you, that we're special people.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're special because the Lord looks at us that way. You know, that's what makes us men of the Lord. Men, you know?
Yeah.
Because it ain't about the works that you do. You know, we out here doing the works. We out here got our garments on. That's part of the thing. Faith without works is dead.
Okay.
You know, but the election is just because that's how you are. Now, all of it, Israel, is what? Romans, Romans, where it talks about, was it 9? Or 11 and 26. All Israel, because all Israel is pretty much of the elect, because the Lord chose all Israel. Okay. You know, but He has an elect up out inside of that elect, a chosen inside of that chosen. All right, let's get the scriptures.
Right. Got Jeremiah 5:28.
Going back what you said about it. We got to back everything up with the scripture. Go ahead. Go to 26.
I was about to say, I was looking at 27 or 26.
Go to 26.
Yep. This is Jeremiah 5:26. It says, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that sitteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore,
Right, the SBLU and all that, that's a house full of deceit. Hell yeah, man. All right, go ahead.
Therefore, they are become great and waxing fat.
Right, they've got riches and they've been funded to shoe our people lies. Go ahead. And we're going to get back into what's the ultimate end game that the Most High got set up.
Right.
It says, they are waxing fat, they shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked.
So our people will do worse than the wicked. So imagine you got some white strippers, Edomite strippers, and they shaking their ass and they clapping their ass. The black woman will turn upside down and do the shit. She would. The white man sells drugs and bricks, right? Black man, he gonna sell drugs. He gonna try to find other ways to sell it. Step more shit on. He'll dump gasoline on the shit just to make you more higher than you were before. They pass the deeds of the wicked. Anything the wicked does, they'll try to make more wicked. This is why the Most High can't give black people the power of the earth, because they would destroy it more than what it is now. I get that in Jeremiah. Whatever.
I mean, not
weed plants everywhere. You have weed stores everywhere. It'd be all messed up. Well, it'd be nothing natural, man. Go ahead. Yeah, but it's the way they're using it, Right.
It
This is Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise a cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations.
Right. This is starting what you see with Russia. I want to get back into that.
Right.
That's what it's about. Prophecy.
Right.
You know? See, them guys come up and they'll bring a distraction and throw you off course of what we're actually out here to do. You know, go ahead.
Yep, from the north country, it says, and they shall set themselves in array against them. Hence, she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man.
What are the arrows?
This glittering sword.
Go ahead.
None shall return in vain.
That means that's what you just read in Isaiah 55. When it goes forth out of our mouth, it shall not return to me void. So when he says America's going to be destroyed, it's not going to return void. So, go ahead.
And Chaldea shall be a spoil.
Now, Chaldea is the modern day so-called white man. Okay, although the Chaldeans, I believe back then with the Babylonians. All right, go ahead.
All that spoil shall be satisfied, saith the Lord.
So everybody gonna be satisfied when this place is burned up. You know, y'all brothers can step in. Go ahead.
All right. It says, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced. O ye destroyers of mine inheritance. My inheritance.
Yeah, Russia did too. They was them modern day G's. They rejoiced in our downfall, man. So when did Russia, the Israelites, all nations? But when I'm talking about the other white nations, when did they say, you know what, America, you did wrong to the black slaves? They ain't say nothing like that. They don't give a goddamn about us. No. They still, like you said, they still eat them. When it's all go down, they're gonna start bringing us up in the mix. What you did to the black people over there.
Yeah,
This is why we must have.
Yeah, Cuban already said that.
We
have never enslaved people.
There you did. That was you as a nation. You'll get punished as a nation. Somebody never enslaved you, man.
The world was made for our sake.
Some devils, how they took the land? They took the land from other nations.
Yeah.
Now, what the hell are you talking about?
There ain't gonna be no Edomite nation at all.
You know, the kings of Russia originally were so-called black anyway, man. Well, you mean you ain't take slaves for yourself? You killed the black kings. That's why you got a book called Russian Icons. You had black leaders over there, man. Israelites. Go ahead. You can jump off and go back and forth.
It says, because ye are grown, grown back as the heifer at grass.
Yeah, Russia has their own interests. Their interests don't coincide with the interests of the scriptures. You know, America has their own interests. You know, we call it the New World Order, right? The New World Order really is Israel coming back to the power. That's the truth. That's the voice of the New World Order, man. You know, because what did that world look like on Russia overtaking America? The same shit. Same thing. Going back to prehistoric slave days. Pretty much. You got it.
He says, and bellow as wolves. Your mother shall be sore confounded.
That's because American allies are going to turn on America. NATO and the EU, they're going to turn on America. Which America is a part of NATO, but it's not a part of the EU. So the what is it, Britain, with the UK, that's where America came out of. They're going to turn that back on America.
She that bear me shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindrance of the nation shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert.
So when did that happen in Babylon? Right. Like Egypt being totally destroyed. When did Egypt get totally destroyed? All I saw was the sea got parted, the Israelites came through, there was a famine in the land, and guess what? There's people in Egypt now. So what Egypt is that talking about? It's talking about this place here. You have what you call Babylon and the daughter of Babylon.
It says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be rolling desolate. Everyone that goes by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues.
That's what happened, man. Because if America is destroyed and that smoke going up, yep, they're going to be like, man, look at that. Look at that. All that smoke. That smoke will be going up for a long time, man. That smoke will be going up for a long time.
That's why the scripture is that's why these scriptures is describing why this place need to go. They say they go hiss at the abominations. The Lord always bring an example. Yeah, you want to make a mean, make something out of that.
That is funny. Because it's all the wickedness is wrapped up in one, man. People get mad at us. God just hates.
Yes, we do. We hate the abominations that's here, man. Yes, we do. Hate the evil and love the good, dumbass. Yes, we do hate. Yes, we're a hate group. We're the haters of evil, man.
Look at the image that this world has set up with America. You know,
America, you do what you want to do. Yeah, do what you like.
That's what they do. They go to those places and be like,
Digital underground.
that's what happens when you do what you want to do. That wasn't the way to go.
You got little kids riding by on scooters with one leg.
Hey, I saw that the child had fell, and he immediately got up and he was showing us his hand, and he looked at me, he got showing us a hand.
Oh, no, I didn't see it.
Little boy, like he showed a hand, like he just came up to us like he wanted to be healed or something,
Wow.
He walked past everybody else, showed the hand he had.
Wow.
Like he wanted to be healed, man. Yeah, that was crazy. It happened right here. I thought I didn't know.
The little boy that was standing there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And the
Oh,
mother came and got him.
Oh,
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, he brought that out. So he fell over there and he held up their hand like he wanted to be healed. Like he looked right at us. You saw it. Yeah. He looked right at us and just kept holding up that hand. He wouldn't move. Mother tried to pull him when he wouldn't move.
I saw him kept coming up.
Yeah,
but I ain't
Those children like coming up here.
Yeah, he just ran straight up like, what the hell?
Wow, I felt him around it, but it was
he came up like 3 times, but I ain't know.
Get up Matthew 18. You don't believe. Just for what the brother said, we're going to close. About the little boy. I like reading this scripture.
This is Matthew 18:1. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Yahushua called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, that's talking about being healed. You got to start off like a little child. Yeah. So the Most High set an example of them two SBU coons or whatever they are. They didn't want to be converted.
Yahushua is after the children. Just like Esau after the children, Yahushua after the children.
Yeah,
different ways.
HBC race. Professor. He was like one of the Professor Coon. We can see it, the hair and everything.
Yeah.
We can see preachers and we can see phony teachers. the jacket, the hair.
I swear, I think he's a professor. That's Professor Koondots.
Yeah. All right, you go.
It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. O ye that bring the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows,
Spare no arrows. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's self-explanatory.
Man, don't spare nothing, man. Don't spare nothing.
It's got to be gone. Babylon's got to be on total fire, man.
Let's go be trying looking for missiles.
What's that? Race it. You know, it's gotta be race.
Chemtrails, man.
It's nothing but dust in the sky. That's race.
I saw a black chemtrail.
There's a main
Yeah,
reason
they
why
got
it
black.
says, the main reason why it says not spared is because, but she has sinned against the Lord.
So when that missile fly by, there's going to be a bigger chemtrail than that.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be a lot of trails when that missile fly by. That'll be the last chemtrail you saw. Yep. Go ahead.
Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen.
See, this is why Esau represents the black woman to run societies, because they worship the woman. It's all about, like the Pope in the basement. They said he got a statue of Mary, a black Mary in the basement. It's all about the Queen of Heaven worship. You know, that's why they call America she. It's always woman related.
Oh man.
Well, the Most High on the right hand side calls us his woman.
Yeah.
Because it represents delicateness. Well, delicateness in a righteous way.
Woman means servant.
Yeah.
We ain't servants.
Yep.
Black woman, the white man servant.
Yeah.
All right, keep reading, brother.
Yeah.
It says, her walls are thrown down, but it is the vengeance of the Lord.
And that's true. The black woman walls are thrown down. They talking about the missiles.
The walls.
They thrown down, broke down, caved in.
Destroyed.
Oh, the other wall, America's gate. America's power.
You can't really say it because they got so many injections.
Go ahead, brother.
It says, take vengeance upon her. As
Well,
she
when you
hath
read
done.
Matthew 8, was it 18? When it talks about how much gloriously, deliciously she lived deliciously. That's talking about America, but that's also going to the people who prospered from America and everything that they had. Like the black woman, she's glorified, and the black men that follow, right? The HBCUs. What the hell is this HBCU day?
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to say that, man. TV show like HBO. Sorry.
It's cut off the sword from Babylon.
The sword is what? When feeds Babylon, like when you sow it, like when you see the parable of the sower, the seed. That's when you get the fruits and you get the goods. So Babylon, that also precepts in Revelation 18 when it talks about the ships shall be cut up, the ship masters shall not they're not going to be delivering no food no more. The spices and the frankincense, all that is going to stop. Go ahead.
And him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest.
Right.
For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land.
It was a show years ago. I don't know if y'all ever seen a Twilight Zone episode called The Shelter. And the missiles were supposed to come, and everybody ran, and the one guy had an underground bunker.
I think I see
and he was the only one prepared. And that represents us. We prepared through the Spirit.
Wow.
And then everybody's banging on the door. That represents Noah. And everybody, let me in, let me in. They took a battering ram and caved in and shit. And they were all his friends.
Dang.
And then when they found out after it was over, and they found out it was a false alarm, they all put their heads down and walked away. All sorry and shit. You ain't gonna have no more friends. And that's what it's gonna happen. When we go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and it goes into the spoiling people for their goods and your friendly neighbor and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're gonna have good neighbors in that day. All these people walking up and down the street, holding hands and they're neighborly. When that crunch time comes, they're gonna send their daughters out to prostitute, right? They're gonna sell their daughters, right? The pride of them, they're gonna do all kinds of wicked shit, man.
They can't buy no Captain Crunch anymore.
They ain't gonna buy nothing when it gets rough. They gonna go ahead.
No, you got
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's just, it's all games right now, man. Everybody making jokes about it.
Ain't no food no more. So you gonna go in your neighbor's house and get him for his food?
They ate, they drank, they carried it to the flood came, took them home.
Yep. That's what that's going into. We ain't gonna read for too much longer.
It says Israel is a scattered sheep. The minds have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria.
That's almost a breath of fresh air to see a man and woman walk down the street now.
Damn.
Yeah, it is.
But then they still be all the man be all. Go ahead.
First, the king of Assyria had devoured him. And last, this Nebuchadnezzar,
King of Babylon.
king of Babylon, have broken his throne. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land, as I have punished the king of Assyria.
Now you got a lot of scholars. Sometimes it goes to Babylon, and sometimes you gotta know where it's going at. But ultimately, all things are written aforetime for our learning, as Paul says. That's ultimately talking about the day too. Babylon is going to be destroyed. The king of Babylon. And who the kings of Babylon? Not really the goddamn president, not Biden. Biden is not a king of Babylon.
Let's see what he got to mention.
He ain't one of no president is. Their president ain't nothing but presenters. A king is like Russia, Vladimir Putin is a king.
They showed that in Squid Game, the guy with the black trench coat. He was running shit, he was running shit. And all he is a front man. While he got the other guys came in with the past, the DIBs.
He stepped down.
Yeah, he stepped down. Yep. He had to do what they had to say.
It was pretty much the freaking elite.
Right. And then the whole time, the old guy that was with them, he was running this shit.
Like Yahweh Shah, our Lord. We just doing what we're doing. Yahweh Shah. And when the Lord comes, we reference our Savior, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all tough and stuff.
Yeah.
When the Lord comes, we like, oh.
Yeah.
Automatic fear.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
We like bold and tough down. When the Lord returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We be too pretty, but we have
that. No, the scripture says the righteous are scarcely making. So it's gonna be like but we gotta what they call that? We gotta do it now, basically.
Like
rehearse it now.
Yeah.
Rehearse it. We gotta rehearse it. We gotta rehearse that fear of the Lord, man, right now. If that building came crashing down, all those people, everybody would be out in an uproar and crying and scared. And we might have a little fear, but we'll say, well, that was the Lord. It's different for us. Look at whenever you see a catastrophe happen, right, on YouTube, and you go to the comments, my prayers are with such and such. My prayers are with the people who get praying. It's always their prayers. But the Lord did it. Everybody up there talking about they praying for people. You ain't praying for the people you praying.
Well, because it's different. We pray for brothers, but we pray unto
We pray unto the Lord. Yeah. But their prayers aren't being answered. Whenever something happens, my prayers. Yep, but you got to pray unto the Lord. They're not praying to the Lord's name.
Right. They're praying for other people that they don't even know about.
Who gives it? Yeah. We close up.
well, with that,
Bottom line is this place going down, man. Right. Going down. Young Jock said that. It's going down.
Going down.
It's going down. People try. I don't know.
That's bad.
well, with that, Lord willing, is edifying. We want to give all praises, honor, and glory to double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and the sincere son of one to the Akim out here that's doing again, pushing the work, the truth, and the sincerity. Son of woman, walk love and ball.
Sometimes it takes a little while to get heated up.
It's only like only a little bit of it. We sound like a movie.
Yeah.